Good evening and welcome to our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show on Bay County TV. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. This is what we play all season for. It is the postseason, and we are looking for a great matchup tonight.
Every team, 0 wins, 0 losses, and the only thing that matters at the end of the game is a win in that column for either of these two teams.
In all probability, the winner of this game is going to see a very good Traverse City Central team, but there's a lot of business that has to take care of before we worry about week 2.
You know, I think the good thing about these two teams is, A, they have familiarity with each other. They've played each other earlier this year in an epic football game. And the fact is I don't think either of these two teams have any care in the world right now about next week. They only want to worry about the next, 90 minutes once the game starts here tonight.
Well, 4-1 in the conference, 6-3 overall. Offensively, they rushed for 1,637 yards, passed for 1,460 for a total of 3,109. So they've got great balance offensively.
Absolutely. They've got a veteran quarterback, hoping to see him tonight. He took last weekend off with an injury, hoping to get him back out there tonight. And, the one thing about Midland Dow is they've got a lot of not vulnerability. They got a lot of variation in what they want to do, and they can do the things through the air. They can do the things on the ground, and that's really what makes them very difficult to defend for.
And you are right. They are very solid in both aspects, running and passing. Defensively, they've given up 1,441 yards on the ground and 1,027 in the pass, so a total of 2,468. Now, passing, Backus, again, who we just talked about a few minutes ago, did not play last week, but this is a big, strong, stud-like football player. 105 of 169, 62.1% for 1,236 total with 11 touchdowns.
He reminds me of a guy that we have featured a couple of times, Tommy Shapansky, in terms of size, speed, velocity coming off of his hand. He throws a really good ball. He's a little bit more... he's got a little bit more ability to move outside the pocket, throw on the run. He does a lot of really good things. Again, just as a football fan, you want to make sure that you're seeing the best team possible. And with him on the field, that definitely makes Dow a very dangerous team.
Now, when you look at rushing, Backus is the leading rusher on this team as well. 128 carries for 628, a 4.9 yard per carry, and 12 touchdowns. So he can do it both ways.
Well, he's a big guy, 6'5". So, the thing about him is he get the ability to, throw the ball down the field. And then all of a sudden, when he throws the ball down the field, he may as well run it in for himself. So, he has 12 touchdowns on the year just on the ground. 11 through the air, so he's responsible for a lot of what Midland Dow does well.
Well, Kritz and Colts, I'll be their two running backs and or their two receivers, 310 yards and 269. So they've got 7 touchdowns between them, and they're going to be a fun team to watch tonight. We got rain, and that could be a factor in the passing game as well.
The thing about the passing game and the rain is it's not a downpour, so I think you're not going to see as much of an issue as it is in past weeks where we've saw, maybe Mount Pleasant not throw the ball nearly as much as they have in the past. If it does start to come down a little bit more, I think you're going to see a little bit more of the ground game, but it's not really that deterring as of right now.
And we got brand new carpet out there, so that should help immensely too. Western 3-2 on the year, 7-2 overall, as rushing 3,596 on the ground. That is almost 1,000 yards more than the next in the blue division of the SVL.
The thing about the Warriors in their run game is they do it, and you know what they're going to do. If you're the other team's defense, you know what they plan on doing. They're going to run the ball. And the fact that through 9 weeks they have been able to amass that many yards with 2 guys specifically is amazing because, again, it's not like you don't know what they're going to do or what they want to do. They go out there and they try to enforce their will, and that's something that Coach Willards has preached since he's been here.
2,000-yard running backs. First time in Bay County history that you've got O'Hare leading the way, and he has just had a crazy amount of 1,346, 9.8 yards per carry, 1,262 for Weedike, 9.3, and they have 37 touchdowns between them.
I think the two things that you've got to look at for Western's rush game is you've got to make sure you stay disciplined on defense. You've got to make sure whatever your assignment is, whether it's O'Hara or Wiedike, that you don't get faked out by a couple of of the counters, of the fakes. You've got to make sure you're dialed in and disciplined. The other thing with those guys is the fact that every time they touch the ball, they're averaging 9.8 and 9.3 yards per carry. That is a first down every time they touch the ball. So knowing what they provide to offense and knowing how they can take that offense to another level, it is not as easy as it says, okay, we got to stop those two. Okay, well, good luck.
Well, and then you've got the X factor in Randall. He is averaging 35.9 yards per catch this year, and he runs that counter action when you start concentrating on those two. So that is just going to be amazing tonight. We'll find out real early in this game what type of a factor the weather may be, but we're looking for a great matchup. And that about puts the wraps on our Covenant Healthcare sponsored pregame show. Back with all the game action of Week 1 in the playoffs in just a moment on BCTV.
At Covenant Healthcare, we lead with the most advanced technology. We lead with the most experienced, comprehensive medical and surgical teams. We lead with partnerships to teach our future doctors and with organizations who help us bring world-renowned care close to home. We lead because our patients are at the center of everything we do. Covenant Healthcare, extraordinary care for every generation.
Good evening and welcome back. It's week number 10, Division II District Semifinal. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. The Western Warriors will be kicking off to start the game, and it won't take long for us to find out if Mr. Backus is going to be quarterbacking. All indications in the pregame looked like he was ready to rock.
He was looking good in warm-ups. He was definitely throwing the ball well. It didn't look like he was having a lot of effects. Took last weekend off the rivalry game, which Midland Dow shut out rival Midland High. And, the defense is riding some great momentum. So this is a good move right here, Western kicking off first. Plus, they probably didn't want to see Dow kick any onside kicks.
Well, they said there's plenty of time later for that, and I bet they're much better prepared than they were beforehand. Kind of a unique setup here with 6 people in the first 5 yards and then a gap and another 5-pack on the backside. So Choke gets ready to kick. And it's going to be a little tweener. And that ball comes back up to about the 34-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Midland Dow. And Jason, we are certainly going to have our hands full tonight looking through rainy windows trying to pick up numbers.
Rainy windows, but you know what? Midland Dow's got some nice uniforms. They got some nice block numbers there for us, the white on the green. So hopefully we'll be able to see those pretty easily. As far as the Western ones, well, just bear with us. We'll make our best effort forward.
Backus is the big fella, and we're already going to have movement on the offensive line as they're going to back up 5. Kind of reminds us of the start of the Mount Pleasant Western game.
That it
where
does.
They're a little amped up.
Yeah, a nice crowd filling in for the type of weather that we've got. I mean, most people are going to know they're going to be able to tune in on Bay County TV and listen to us on Monday, but nice little crowd turning in right now, and I think there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of adrenaline. I think they're going to have to work their way out of it. No different than a rivalry game. This is playoff football.
Well, the fact that there is a revenge factor in this game, you want to use that as motivation, but you don't want to harp on it too much. The ball's down in the carpet, and the Western Warriors have recovered on the first play of the game. They tried to go a little trickeration with a sweep here to the near side of the field off of run action, kind of a counter play. And the Western Warriors pounced on that football, and I've got pretty good field position to start this game.
Great field position. John Irvin, the 2 of the Warriors were in the backfield, and I think just maybe the recipient of that pitch saw that as well and was thinking, oh, no, and took his eyes off that ball for a quick second as the Warriors.
He was doing a little peekaboo. Handoff right up the middle, and you know who that is. That is a great run from O'Hare, and he's going to start off with a gain down to the 17-yard line for a gain of about 6 on the play. And kind of a little different set. They're kind of going with a power eye as they're going to put 2 running backs back there with O'Hare and just give the defense somebody else to have to get smashed in the mouth by.
Well, I think at playoff time, you're going to play off a little bit of some new stuff, some new activity, some new things, and new wrinkles that you're going to put in and hopefully catch the other team off guard a little.
Again, direct snap to O'Hare as he bangs forward, and he gets yardage down to the 15-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and a short 2-yard-to-go situation as the defensive interior line stood tall that play for the Midland Dow Chargers.
Talking to a lot of people this week, they were really excited about this rematch for Western and try to revenge the loss that they had in Week 4. But, I had to point out that Midland Dow has also had a lot of time to build off of that game as well. So this is going to be a lot better game than what the first game proved out to be.
There's O'Hare again on the 3rd straight direct snap. And he's averaging 4 yards a carry. He's got 12 yards on 3 plays, and it's a pretty dynamic start for the Western Warriors.
Your mathematician here, Jeff Doan, is going to tell you that 4 yards on 3 carries is a first down for the Warriors. Your abacus?
Well, and the other half of our booth, though, is the golden tablet of the Bay City Times and M Live. Old Bay City Times. It'll always be the Times, but Lee Thompson is right next to us, and that is great. Wiedike turning around the corner, puts his shoulder down, moves the pile forward for a couple of yards down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. So they're going to give him a gain of a couple of yards on the play, and Western trying to show a little bit different wrinkle as the right side of the offensive line couldn't really open a hole. The linebacker and the safety came up for Midland Dow to make that tackle on the play, and again, we're looking through some very fogged-out windows trying to surmise what's going on. Nick is wiping the lens down as often as he can, but 2nd down and 8 for the Western Warriors. There goes Wiedike banging up the middle, and he'll pick up another couple of yards down to about the 7-yard line as the Midland Dow Chargers make the going tough through the middle as they come popping up out of the pile. Looks like amongst others on that tackle is Bradley Horn.
I think Coach Willett said it best when he was talking about the thing that impressed him most about the first game was the sustainable drives that the team was able to put together. And even though this started in short territory, again, they're on their 7th play right now of the drive. They're able to eat some time off. It's not just about being a big play offense. They're willing to take their yards at a time.
Well, and O'Hare, he's down sniffing the goal line. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
They all went Wiedike's way. They were thinking the big fella was going to come rumbling down trying to get some action, and O'Hara said, nope, not this time. I think I'll just take this ball to the end zone.
Well, I believe in Week 4 they featured Wiedike a lot early. And so I think the defense from Midland Dow kind of thought that potentially would be, and they got a heavy dose of O'Hare on that first drive.
Good mix right there by Coach Willits and the offensive staff for the Warriors. Their vaunted 2-point conversion opportunity.
Wiedike to the outside, and when he's got that kind of steam at 2:25, there's not a lot of people that want to stand in his way. We're going to take a quick break. The Western Warriors strike first and up 8-0 with 8:39 left in our first quarter. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. As you look over at Coach Willert's, way too early for a smile on the face, but you got to really be satisfied with the drive, taking about almost 3 minutes off of the clock and ending up with 8 points.
Well, you kicked off at the 12-minute mark, and at the 8:39 mark of the first quarter, you're up 8-0. So, again, nothing he's going to smile about until the clock reads triple zeros up there for sure. But, certainly has to be happy with how things are turning out.
And that's a boomer. And that's touched and picked up way back on the 2-yard line. Crushed at the 16-yard line by the Western Warriors. And I'd say the Warriors are out to make a very early statement, Jason, in this football game.
No, they have definitely come out playing with some vengeance. We haven't got a chance to see a lot of the defense because Dow ran 2 plays. One was an offsides, and then the other was the fumble. But I tell you what, their hits that they put on the 2 kickoffs as well as the pouncing on the fall, they're definitely amped up right now. But again, that can counter it. You want them to try to balance the adrenaline and the intensity, with just staying disciplined and doing what your jobs are.
Well, and I think a lot of the success Western has against opponents is you limit the number of offensive opportunities that they get. As we got a sweep here to the near side of the field, able to turn the corner and pick up the first down before being rocked out of bounds by number 24, Cole Mellick.
Yeah, Cole Mellick had a nice angle on that one. Again, with that little shovel pass, handoff, however you want to call it, anytime that ball is being placed up in the air like that with the weather that we're having, I mean, it's a gamble. And we saw it backfire the first play or second play from scrimmage. That time it worked for about 15.
Well, they got him out of bounds at the 29. We thought he was up closer to the 35, but we can't see the sideline over the bench personnel from Midland Dow. There's Backus. He keeps it, and he bangs forward for 9+. He's going to be just short of that first down marker, and he does not shy away from contact. He's a big guy at about 6'5", 215.
No, definitely not somebody you're going to look to see run the ball a lot. But again, one of the things about him that makes him dangerous is the fact that he has that as an option in his arsenal of in his bag of tricks.
Well, Backus is their leading rusher with 628 yards on the year, so he's going to carry it a fair amount. Trying to go right up the middle again, moving the Western defense. The Cynic brothers finally get that tackle. Not until there's about a 5-yard gain on the play, enough to move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Midland Dow Chargers.
Big difference between this game and the Mount Pleasant game with the rain coming down, and one being on a football field and the other one being on a football turf. You're not going to see a lot of muddy jerseys on this particular field, and the drainage on this field is incredible.
It is certainly a huge difference from regular grass. Motion to the wide side of the field by Dow. Trying to cut to the outside. Crushed on the play is number 3, Kritz, as he tried to turn around the corner, and he was soundly greeted by the Warrior defense.
Yeah, that was not a very welcoming agreement around the corner there. He's probably wishing he would have took a wrong turn at Mexico there, New Mexico.
Yep,
what
he
Bugs
was
Bunny
looking
always
for
say, Albuquerque.
Yes, indeed. So virtually no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. The first stop of this series for Midland Dow with no gain. As Backus again back out of the short shotgun. He's back to pass. Has a little fling to the near side of the field. Great run after the catch that time by number 22, Coates, who's one of the 2 leading receivers.
I think Batchgalupo chasing him down from his defensive position. Going to be 3rd down and just about 4 yards left to go for Dow.
Coates with 27 catches this year for 269 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he is one of the 2 receivers that garners most of the catches for this Dow offense as they mix it up, and they'll dink and dunk, and then they'll go downfield with a big one when you're peeking into the backfield. So here comes Backus again, and he's going to keep it himself, and he is not going to make that first down as he gets up to the midfield mark, and he is going to be a solid 2 to 2.5 yards short of the first down, and they look like they're going to be at least initially rolling the dice. So the first thing you tell your defense, Jason, is don't jump.
Right. You're going to watch the ball. You're going to make sure the snap count is exactly where it's supposed to be. I was going to ask you before on 3rd down if this is already 4-down territory for a Dow team that, doesn't want to get behind by multiple touchdowns, multiple possessions.
Well, this is certainly something that tells you, and again, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to draw him off, and they have a high snap. He pulls forward, and he gets away from the first tackler, and it gets down to the 42-yard line. I'll tell you, he's 6'5", and he needed every inch of that height as that ball sailed right up over the top of his head.
It's amazing when you're as tall as the quarterback and you're thinking to yourself, trying to make that run right there, and you're trying to cross. You got to, again, it's all about the snap. It's the number one most important thing is that snap from the center to the quarterback, that exchange, and then running away from everybody trying to get your 4 yards for the first down, and then some.
What they may have done there is the Western defense may have relaxed a touch, thinking that as that ball's down on the ground again, and they run a little version of what Randall does, a little counter play, and that ball fell backwards, and that's going to go all the way back to the 49-yard line. But to finish my previous point, if you try and draw them off sides, and at that point the defense may relax a little bit, thinking, they're just going to punt the ball away, and then they run a play, and it takes you that split second to amp back up.
Big difference between being on your toes and on your heels, especially when you're trying to salvage 4 yards, and hold them to within that 4 yards. So, could be a little bit of everything. Could be just the amped up aspect of it. Could have been the high snap, throwing them off a little bit.
They're very tight here with the 40-second clock as they're down to 3 seconds, but they get it up. Backus fakes the pass, and he goes right up the middle, and he picks up yardage. And Western hits him high, and they hit him low, and he gets back to about that original line of scrimmage, down to about the 42-yard line. And we'll see, physically how he handles the hits from this Western defense. Obviously, he's done very well so far.
Well, they're coming after him. I mean, again, when you know on the other team who you're sizing up, and again, it's all about your assignments. It's all about making sure that you maintain your containment. And every time he's been tackled, it's been by several Western Warrior defenders. It's not just one guy.
Well, and his backup is only 12 of 24 on the year, and a lot of that had to have come last week against Midland. Backus again going and sliding forward again, making people miss. Gets yardage down to about the 37-yard line, so looked like a design run. The offensive lineman started downfield right away, so just a delayed kind of a draw action by the quarterback, and he takes another hit, but he pushes the pile forward, and it'll be fourth down, and 5. And if it was 4-down territory before, I'm pretty certain it shall be again.
It's a different looking alignment to start off with.
Oh, they used a little Michigan alignment. Yeah. Now they try and slide up to the line and not give Western much time to read off it. There's Backus, and he's hitting the backfield. He is not going to get the first down. And who comes up with the big hit for the Western Warriors? Jacob Maurer coming up, and he just hung on for dear life to Backus and finally got to slide down legs far enough to take him out from under him.
Well, it was a great drive for Dow, unfortunately stalling out, and benefits of the Warriors with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. We get a chance to see this vaunted rush attack.
As the Western Warriors up to the line of scrimmage once again. O'Hare gives it to Randall. Randall trying to cut through the outside. Picks up a gain of about 3 yards on the play, and Dow looked like they were very well prepared for that play from Randall, but I like the fact that you show it early so that you keep people home.
It's all about balance. It's all about keeping the defense honest. But, the other thing is you want to make sure Randall does get a touch every now and then. You want to keep his interest. You want to make sure that he's staying on top of his game. Last week we saw them throw about 2 passes, to Randall specifically, and hopefully they'll get another chance to at least maybe drop one into him by setting everything up.
Trying to come to the near side again. Another modest gain on the play out to just shy of the 45-yard line. As
makes it third and manageable.
Really showing some different looks than what we've seen, and may have been a little extracurricular conversation going on. I don't know that O'Hare was happy with something, but it's a third down now and a long 2-yard-to-go situation, so they're making the play happen here. And, boy, this is a very quick played first quarter, down to $1:20 and counting left in the first quarter. He's going to follow right through the middle, He's going to pick up the first down and more as he squirts down to the 40-yard line. Love the fact that they run that play to Wiedike where he takes 2 steps in motion, then comes right upfield and becomes the lead blocker. And Wiedike went through the hole and he couldn't find anybody to hit.
Wiedike tries to hit people when he's holding on to the ball. He's trying to hit people when he can't get a hold of anybody.
Penalty.
Yeah. I don't even think the hold was necessary. The way that the hole was setting up for O'Hara to get through. He doesn't need a lot of room. We talked about Dow before and then the pregame, the discipline that the defense is going to have in maintaining their containment on Wiedike or on O'Hara. And then Randall getting the first 2 carries on this play or this possession. Just being able to keep those guys guessing. Again, we always talk about the chess match. Coach Willich loves the strategic aspect of the football game.
In essence, that's a 25-yard penalty because the ball would have been down at the 40-yard line of the Chargers. So that's a huge flip of the field. Let's see what Western could do here on 3rd down and 12. And we're going to have motion potentially on the offense. Still have not gotten an indication. And it looks like it's going to go against the Western Warriors for another false start.
Well, that's going to push it back from a 1st and 10 opportunity to a 3rd and 17. So mistakes in playoff football, they just don't mesh well together. You've got to maintain that you're playing your peak football and maintaining the no turnovers, limit the number of turnovers, limit the number of this is play just seemed to not go anywhere.
And that play did not really bear a lot of fruit for Western, so they'll be in a situation where they'll end up having to punt the ball away. But they will just have to punt this with a couple of seconds left in the first quarter. So after the punt, that should be the end of our first quarter of play.
Yeah, just to finish what I was talking about is you got to limit your turnovers. You got to limit the amount of penalties that you have. Mental mistakes at this time of the year. I mean, you've had 9 weeks to really get all that stuff cleared out of your mind, and this is your time to try to play the best game you can.
Western with some wide splits offensively. Nice exchange. The kick is up, and it's a booming kick going all the way back to the 30-yard line. Dow then comes, and we're going to have a penalty back here. Great job by the back judge as that hit from number 10 of Dow Chargers, Drew Yiter. I mean, his fans are excited about it, but again, spot foul, and that is going to come back here. The spot foul is going to be around the 35, so it's already going to cost them 12 before they go back another 10. So that's, in essence, another 22-yard mistake.
You know, and it is, and it does. It's exciting. You want to make the hit. It's kind of like getting the technical foul on a slam dunk. You get the excitement, but you really don't get that momentum that you were hoping for because you're going backwards.
Now, what they're talking about right now, was that a blindside block? Was that a helmet-to-helmet? They're trying to get different opinions right now. In my view, that's why all 5 of them are together. They think they've got a good spot for where they're going to enforce whatever they call.
I think the tough thing is, we talked about a 5-man crew versus a 7-man crew, is how many people are watching that hit versus just seeing the reaction of the hit. So you're if you don't see it, your opinion is just that. That's the value of what you're actually able to see with your eyes.
And there is no time left on our first quarter clock, but we're still waiting for an indication. They are going to mark off a 15-yard penalty, so they are going to call it a personal foul. And
could have some long legs down there. Them look like supersized
and you know what? I am not used to watching the white hat roll off the penalty. Personal foul.
No, what was that call? It looked like he brought his hands together.
I think he's trying to say helmet contact. And normally I go to the side of the head when I do that. And so now they're going to go over and tell Coach Willards, but that ball goes back to the 22-yard line. That'll be the end of the first quarter, and we're going to go to the other end of the field after they tell Coach Willards what's going on. So we're going to take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV. Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout, too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu. Back here on Bay County TV as we get ready to start the second quarter. Kind of got a different look from our official. It was a 15-yard penalty. He pounded his fist like it was helmet-to-helmet contact. I normally go to the side of my head for that, but a 15-yard penalty really flips the field to start with. And now Backus again is going to run that ball forward, and he gets hit by about 4 Western Warriors as he comes forward on the field. And it looks like Sinek comes up out of the bottom of that stack. And I don't know if you say little brother or not because they're both big boys.
Yeah, maybe younger. We're not sure who came first, but the Backus, running the ball like that, he was spinning and twirling, and he's going to attract all that attention. And he's doing the same thing that we're talking about that we want Western to do, or that we expect Western to do, is set it up for maybe a play action, or maybe set it up for getting one of these other guys involved with the on the offense, either on the flat, maybe try and get them into some open space.
Trying to come to the near side of the field. Sweep with some open field is number 3 on the play. And Kritz gets just pounded down to the turf as he gets that first down. It's going to be a huge gain out to the 41-yard line, enough to move the sticks. Another 1st and 10 for the Dow Chargers.
Well, we talked about softening it up. Backus running the ball, Backus running the ball, Backus running the ball. And then what do you start doing? You start cheating a little bit. You start eyeing that up, and all of a sudden you miss your assignment, and all of a sudden it's a 19-yard gain.
As they come up from their own 41-yard line again, Backus with running backs to both sides. He's going to pitch that thing to the outside, trying to weave his way around, looking for some area to go, and he goes out of bounds after a short gain. Looks like they're going to give him a gain out to about the 44-yard line. Officially the 43-yard line. Boy, on that far side of the field, hard to see where he looked like he went out of bounds, but the officials do a good job after a 2-yard gain.
Well, it was good. I thought it was nice containment out there by the back, making sure that if he was able to get to the outside, it was going to be just a sideline that he was going to be contested with. If he wanted to turn it back in, definitely had quite a few of the Warrior defenders there waiting for him. So, it's a modest gain, and they live to play another down.
Well, and Backus has to come to the sideline for these calls, too, so he's got to be in tremendous shape. Trying to come now. They're going to roll it to the near side of the field, picking up a little bit more yardage out to the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd down now in a long 2-yard-to-go situation, so trying to stretch the field a little bit here on the last 2 downs.
Well, Carter Coates, definitely another guy that we featured in the pregame show. He's definitely a player that these guys seem to want to keep the ball in their hands, to let them be playmakers, that are capable of being a playmaker that they are. But again, now you're in 3rd and short. This is going to be an opportunity for Backus to maybe get ahead of steam going and use a 6'5" frame to fall forward for a first.
Western showing that 4-man front defensively. They have got 10 stacked into the box, so to try and stop Backus. Backus comes forward. He splits 2 defenders, gets down to the 43-yard line. He'll move the sticks again. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Midland Dow Chargers, as they've got an impressive drive here, too. And Backus has not thrown one pass on this concurrent drive.
No, and that's the thing and that's his strength. I mean, the guy's got an arm. He's got accuracy. So just trying to maybe weather a little bit of this wetness that's slowly coming to an end here in the first half. But again, they started the drive with the personal foul. It'd be great for these guys to be able to cap off a drive with a score.
As again, single back. Backus with the handoff. And a seam that time for the running back. And that is Colts or Streeter? Which one?
Coates.
Yep.
Oh, I apologize. A.J. Fang, the other running back, got a little love right there. Kind of surprised the Warriors, surprised us.
Yep. The Western saw the number, went, oh, that's a decoy. Get enough to move the sticks again. Now down to the 29-yard line of the Western Warriors with 9:10 left in our first half of play. Western on top 8-0 over Midland Dow. Little counter action again. Same play they ran earlier to number 26 on the play. Fang bites his way through the defense into the end zone. It's a Midland Dow Charger touchdown.
Well, that was a beautiful setup play. They faked the ball to Critz coming around, and again, you get that defense, their eyes in the backfield. They got Backus, they've got Critz, and all of a sudden they're going to run Fang right at you with a little shovel pass, a little scoop pass. I'm not quite sure what that's going to go down in the book as, but either way it worked for about 29 yards.
Well, it's just like the counter that the Western Warriors run with Randall. Just you start leaning one direction, and he just needs a small seam the other way. So going for 2 points again, even though they've got a pretty fair kicker. Backus to the near side of the field, and he's going to be into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. Time out of the field with 9 minutes left in our first half of play. We're all knotted up. The Western Warriors 8, the Dow Chargers 8. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back on BCTV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. We're a little bit cozy and dry. Nick Page is filming out there trying to keep the camera from getting too soaked and saturated, and the flag looks like it has slowed down a little bit. We were seeing solid 15-mile-an-hour northeasterlies early, and the rain looks like it has subsided for the moment as well, even though it's still like a heavy mist.
It is, but now that everything's a little bit damp, everything's a little bit wet, that wind doesn't need to be all that much just to crisp your hands up if you're a receiver or if you're a running back or you're a quarterback. And all of a sudden things can start getting a little dicey out there for you.
And they run something to the sidelines, and is that going to go out of bounds?
Yeah, absolutely. It's over with the cheerleaders for the Warriors.
It is over at the 23-yard line. So the three options you have, you can take the ball where it goes out of bounds, you can re-kick the ball, or you can take it from the 35. Looks like Western says, I don't want to see another kick. We're going to take it at the 35-yard line.
Well, that and the fact that Coach Willits wants to get that offense back. The last possession really hampered by a couple of penalties, untimely, if there's ever is a timely penalty. One was on a first down, and the other one pushed them back from 3rd and 12 to 3rd and 17. So now it's their opportunity to try to regain some momentum for the Warriors and see what O'Hara has dialed up on possession number 3.
As he goes to the short side of the field, is able to get 7 yards when it looked like he may have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. He got to that spot in a big hurry, and they're officially going to give him 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Tacklers on the play were led amongst others by Wardell.
I thought that was a nice starting play. Again, you were going to have the ball in O'Hara's hands. You're going to have the ball in Wiedike's hands, and then every now and then Randall. So, again, if your Midland Dow is on the defensive side, it's not like you have to guess what they're running, who they're going to throw the ball around to. They're not. They're going to run the ball.
Again, trying to move to that short side of the field, and he just shows such great patience waiting for his blocks to open up. And he only picked up 2 yards on that play, but the patience gave him the deuce that he got.
It's the patience, and then it's a strength, and then it's the, I don't want to say he's not quick. I'm not. What's the word I'm looking for? He's deceiving. He's very deceiving because when he wants to go in the that north-south direction, he plants, and then all of a sudden you're like, it's 3-4 yards, and that's how he ends up averaging 9.8 yards a carry for the season. But definitely something that Midland Dow's going to have to keep an eye on. But again, 3rd and 2, 3rd and short. And you got Weedike again leading the way. And you got O'Hara.
O'Hara's at the 40, the 35, tries to cut back down to the 30-yard line again. Absolutely found a great seam to the outside and a touchdown-saving tackle by the Dow Charger defense.
Aren't they all, Jeffrey? Aren't they
you
all?
taught me that 4 weeks ago, Jason.
I think that was the first statement you made in week 1, Standish and Pinconning. At a kickoff, the guy catches and tackles him.
It's all touchdown saving when they make it. So 1st and 10 for Western. A nice big chunk play for them. Puts them down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, it flips the field for sure. And unfortunately, little extra movement there on the offensive line.
It looked
left
like
side.
the left side of the offensive line, and certainly the defense from Midland Dow wanted to point it out as well.
Yeah, well, there's an additional 11 officials out there, not let alone the ones that are in the crowd, that were making sure that the flag was coming out of the official's pocket, the yellow one.
Down to 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in our second quarter of play. Again, we're all knotted up at 8 each. Western Warriors of the Dow Chargers. As Western again now starts 1st and 15, and that changes the play calling just a little bit as they quickly come up to the line of scrimmage. Look at the Weedike with that great lead block, and he blasts a hole for O'Hare. Weedike absolutely lit the defensive corner up that was standing there and knocked him back 4 yards as Weedike got a big hit and allowed O'Hare to come down the sidelines with a gain down to the 21-yard line.
I tell you, if you're going to foul somebody, most people want to foul an offensive lineman, maybe a player like a Van Suman from Essexville Garber, but I think I'm going to get behind Weedike.
Kritz is that player that was unfortunately in the path of Weedike leading. And again, O'Hare's patient, and he lets that lead blocker blocks take over. And I think you're going to see Weedike here on 2nd down. He tries to bang forward. Nope, they give that on the quarterback keeper to O'Hare. And he looks like he is going to have the 1st down to the 19-yard line. Defense was really keyed in on Weedike again, and O'Hare's going, just keep keying on him. I'll keep hanging on to the ball. So he gets 16 yards and 2 carries. Simple math on the abacus says at 8 yards a carry, they're going to move the ball down the field.
That is true, and I think the defensive coordinator was listening to your thought, giving the ball to Weedike there, and
they
he's
might
like,
be patched into our broadcast.
Well, if Jeff Doan says it, then it might be true.
We've seen him for the 4th time this year, but a long time ago I stopped trying to outguess coaches because they proved me wrong over and over. O'Hare to the outside is shut down trying to get around the corner. Great open field tackle that time by Wardell.
Advantage definitely on that side was to the defense. There wasn't enough offensive players out there to block the number of Dow guys out there. And even though you're running to the strong side, Dow defender was perfect position to key on O'Hara in that situation. I'm not saying he was a spy or spying him specifically, but he was definitely in great position to keep an eye on the quarterback.
Ball right back in the middle of the field, so strength can be to either side. They run the double wing setup on the left. O'Hare gives that ball to Weedike. He turns the corner, makes the first one miss. He's down to about the 16-yard line before he's finally brought down. And I'll tell you, he's a load when he squares up the shoulders. And in this case, he goes east and west. Most times it's north and south. He's a load.
He's going to make sure that he gets body contact. Even if he's running down the field untouched, he's still going to want somebody to hit, which is not typical of a running back.
4-down territory, I'm certain. 3rd down and 8. It'll be interesting to see what they can get on 3rd down to set up what they could have on 4th. As we're going to have another penalty, and it looks like it could be another false start on the Western Warriors. Might have had some people looking to pull on the short side of the field, and Western seems to have found some success in the first half on that short side, trying to turn the corner.
They have, but the one thing that we talked about on that last possession, and I got to point it out again, is going to be these miscues. These are mental mistakes right now that you can't have on a strong drive. You go from 3rd and 8 where you know that you're getting 4 to 5 yards a carry. That's definitely doable in two plays. But now you're at 3rd and 13, and again, your playbook looks a little bit different than it did at 3rd and 8.
I'd say it's a 22-yard pass to Randall for a touchdown here.
22-22, is that what you're saying?
We'll see. Coming to the outside, trying to turn around the corner. Makes that happen downfield, and the ball is almost intercepted as they tried to get that ball to Randall, and very well aware of where he was at on the field. And this, unlike many fields, Jason, has a down marker on the near side of the field opposite the chains, and that was a huge benefit for O'Hare. But O'Hare threw that ball. 2 wide receivers from Western in the exact same spot of the end zone. I think somebody may have run the wrong route there, brought all the defense into one spot.
We saw that last week against Bay City Central on one of their first pass plays where he had a really nice opportunity for Randall, and Batch Galupa was in the area, or Sarah Marathi was in the area. So you're in a situation where, it doesn't look right because there are 2 guys and, of course, 2 guys, 2 defenders.
We're going to have a timeout of the field as Chris Willards wants to talk things over with his Warriors. We'll take a quick break with 4:30 left in the first half, tied at 8 on Bay County TV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Kaukaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham. And we've got Nick Page producing, directing, and filming tonight. Looking at that Western huddle right now, trying to find that perfect 4th and 12 play, Jason, to give them at least a first down, if not points.
Well, Folsom's a great kicker as well. Come from a long line of soccer players out there at Western, and we saw him last week a little bit with his opportunity to put an extra point on at Bay City Central, and he put that ball well enough through the uprights where
into this win, though, might change that thought process. Here we go on a big 4th and 12. Coming to the near side of the field. Trying to pass the screen to the other side, was absolutely perfectly set up, and O'Hare underthrew the pass, and that play looked like it had 6 points written all over it.
Well, a little bit of slippery ball, and the thing is it too bad, if there is a too bad that it wasn't thrown behind the line where Batch Galupa could have picked that up and even ran it, because he had a lot of real estate over there on the far side of the field from where the defenders were rolling.
Boy, perfect call, but again, just O'Hare could not get enough on that throw back across the field. And they had 3 blockers out in front and only 1 defender there. That would have been at least a first down, but the ball goes over on downs. Another counteraction play again, and Fang's trying to get to the outside, and he picks up big yardage again, and they're just going to keep feeding the dog till Western shows that they can stop it.
Well, that's what Backus is hoping for. At the end of the day, he wants them to keep starting to key in on Fang a little bit so he can kind of do what he does back there.
Well, the game certainly at this point has lived up to its billing as being a close, tough, hard-fought game.
Well, it doesn't get much closer than 8-8 and defensive battles. I think they're still kind of feeling each other out. I don't think anyone, at least up here, was expecting a shootout like they had in the game 1.
Trying to come to the near side of the field again is Chris as he gets up to the 49-yard line of the Western Warriors, and Backus again just does that read option. When he sees the defensive end coming at him, he throws a nice pitch to the outside, and Chris gets to the outside and able to turn the corner before the Western Warriors can catch up.
Initially, I thought Western had good containment on that side, but, again, it's just you stretch them out just far enough, and you can stretch it out to create the gap and the hole that you're looking for.
1st and 10 Dow Chargers. Backus trying to come upfield again. He's making people miss, and he's picking up 7 yards before he's brought down by the Western defense. And you could see a couple of those Western defenders snapping their heads going, man, I had a great opportunity to catch him for a 2-yard gain, and The big fella's got some moves.
He does, and he's not a lot, but a little bit like O'Hare. He seems to be patient out there. Again, when you're 6'5" versus 5'10", it's your body's different. You're more exposed out there. But the reality of it is he's really patient out there. He's picking where he wants to go, and he's trying to avoid being hit hard.
3:10 and counting left in the first half. 2nd down and 3. There's Fang on the counter play again, and he is swatted at the line of scrimmage and pushed backwards. And it looks like Chope comes up with that initial hit defensively and slammed that play down. He goes, I've seen this a few times now.
Yeah, I don't think I want to watch you running past me again, at least for the moment.
So this is a huge play in the game, too. 3rd down and a long 2-yard-to-go situation. They're taking their time, and they won't get to the huddle until there's less than 10 seconds left, so they'll have no time to do anything but get to the line and run the play, as this one is going to come right down to the last second. They had movement. They did not have people set in time, and I think that play coming in late, and they had some motion and movement, but you had too many people going. They're going to give them a timeout prior because they knew they weren't going to be able to get that play off without an illegal motion. So we've got time out of the field. Dow Chargers, 2:19 left in the half, tied at 8. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. Jason, can you thank a couple of our great sponsors?
Absolutely. Would love to thank Covenant Healthcare, Frank's Great Outdoors, Collier Chiropractic, Village Towing and Auto Repair, AAA Transport, and don't forget the Bay City Bills and their all-fresh homemade food.
Ooh, they have got some great food at Bay City Bills, and it's a place we love to go over and see Earl and Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here we go with a big 3rd down and short 3. Backus to the outside. Yeah. He's trying to go around the corner. It looks like a stoppage of play, and maybe we may have had a little premature movement on the play. And it looks like the Dow Chargers are going to be backing themselves up 5 valuable yards of real estate.
Well, it seems like anything that Western can do wrong, Midland Dow says, hold my pop.
Yep.
We can go from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and 7 just as quick as you guys can.
Well, and this is a huge difference in a play, too, because if they only get 3 or 4 yards, then they've got a big decision to try and make on 4th down.
Well, big play capabilities that the Western offense has. I don't think if they make it manageable here, I think they punt the ball away, flip the field position, and try to play for the tie here in the first half and be happy with an 8-8 situation.
Now the Warriors received the ball to start the second half. Back is for a rare opportunity to throw that ball downfield in and out of the hands of the intended receiver on the play number 22, Coates.
Same thing that we saw with the Western pass, 2 offensive players, receivers in the same area within 3 to 4 yards of each other. Now you got 2 defenders, so you got 4 people down there, and honestly, all 4 of them had an opportunity at the pass. And that's not good odds for you if you're a quarterback. You want your guys to have a little bit better chance of probability of catching it than the defense. But we're wrong again here as they line up with a little spread action.
They run up with a little wildcat because they're going to punt this football away. And that is just a little down. And, boy, that takes a real nice Western bounce and comes back to the 17-yard line. With 2:03 left in the first half and 2 timeouts left, the Western Warriors have got to go a large chunk of real estate. I do believe if they can get down somewhere around the 20-yard line, Folsom will have maybe an opportunity to boom one and see if he can get it through the uprights.
I agree with that, but, we've seen crazier things. We've seen John Elway take it 98 yards in 2 minutes, the mile-high miracle at Municipal.
Yes, indeed. And it's... you've got O'Hare or Randall both capable of going coast to coast on any given play. Weedyke maybe not coast to coast, but he would rather run through you than over you, but he's had some long runs as well. As they get that ball to the outside, and again, Weedyke just bangs forward for a couple of yards on the play. And
well, if you're Midland Dow, do you call your timeout? You have 2 timeouts left. Do you want to try to conserve and maybe get a chance back with an arm like Backus?
I'd say after this play, they're going to use one of their timeouts, depending on what Western gets. Well, Western's not taking a whole lot of time to try and make something happen. As O'Hare comes forward up over the 21-yard line. And so that's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 6 yard to go situation. As it looks like Coach Peterson's going to finally take a timeout now.
A little bit longer than I thought.
He must have been tuned into our broadcast. Yeah, it took him 7-8 seconds to decide that's what he wanted to do. So we're going to take another quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
In the fight against cancer, you are never alone. The Covenant Cancer Care Center pledges to stand by you every step of the way. And standing with us now is MD Anderson Cancer Network, a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center, one of America's leading cancer care providers. This extraordinary affiliation gives families unprecedented access to world-renowned cancer treatment plans close to home. Together, we can fight cancer, hand in hand.
Back as we look at the Western student section right now, trying to cheer those Western Warriors on to big and better things with $1:20 left in our first half. Jeff Doe to Jason Newsham. And this has been a first half that has not disappointed, but mistakes by both teams have cost momentum.
The mental mistakes. We've seen the one turnover that Western was able to turn into points after the first possession of Dow on the fumble. And then Western a couple of times taking first downs away by committing penalties, a couple of untimely. Again, we talked about timely. There's no such thing as a timely penalty, but untimely. There could be really, really crucial times, and having those crucial conversations at halftime will be what Coach Willis will be focusing on.
The referee just hit ready for play, and there was already 22 seconds on the clock. That's not supposed to start until the ready for play whistle. Western isn't going to need that much time, but that could make a huge difference.
As we talk about it again, it's that left side. They're really, really trying to get off the ball, which obviously makes you think that they're having a little bit of responsibility over there. That time, we got about 300 other officials out here real quick on that little jump of offside. So back to a minute 20.
Penalties for Western have been very costly in the first half.
Very much so. And again, I think that's that crucial conversation that Coach Willits is going to have with the linemen. Make sure they get their calls right, their cadence right, make sure that they're on the same page. But again, a big difference right now between third and 7, 3rd and 6, and 3rd and 11.
Patience trying to go upfield and absolutely swarmed in the backfield. And Midland Dow Chargers are going to take their last time out with $1:12 left in this first half. And Western's going to have probably kicked that ball from inside their own 5 into the wind, so it should give the Dow Chargers some pretty good field position.
It'll give them at least a chance, but, let's go back to that second down play where Western snapped the ball with 15, 16 seconds left on the play clock. You start thinking about, down and distance and time and everything else and how crucial those 15 seconds would have been. And maybe if you take those 15 seconds down, maybe Dow doesn't call a timeout. Maybe it's, under a minute and, they start figuring out, we'll just, if they're willing to go in, we're willing to go in. But
well, and I think what Coach Willards thinks is, hey, we get a chunk play here. We want to have some time to be able to move the ball downfield. So I see both sides to that scenario going on. Unfortunately, this did not, to this point, work out for the Western Warriors. And I don't know if they'll be like the Lions did on Sunday and come up with a big fake punt that'll go for about 30 yards in a first down.
I think the 0-7 Lions are not in the same level of conversation with the 7-2 Warriors.
And again, back here to return that kick is number 22, Coates. And he's sitting at his own 40-yard line. So
he's not expecting much out of this punt, is he?
Well, into the wind, it's not going to carry a long ways unless he really thunderfoots it. I believe that's Choate back there. I'm not positive. And they just about got their hands on it. Boy, a great kick. Coates trying to come to their side. There's a block in the back. No, it's not called. And down the sideline and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And no flag there either. Definite block in the back.
Yes.
The back judge was too close to that to see it, but that ball should be back at the 30, and now they're all calling for a helmet-to-helmet. I think he hit him with the shoulder. I do not believe that there was a helmet-to-helmet there, but there's a lot of officials in the stands that don't agree.
Oh, I agree with the call that you're talking about with the shoulder, but, I think the other side of it, is you missed the one call back here, but again, you got all these different officials, and they're all watching. They have their different responsibilities. You're an official, so you understand what it is you're looking for, your area, and if you're just because you're wearing a white hat out there doesn't mean that you're seeing every possible aspect of the game that's going on, because it's impossible.
How many times in the broadcast, at least 3 so far, have we talked about the difference between 5 and 7 officials on the field to have 2 more sets of eyes? His Backus gets back, and we got a penalty flag down, and I think we may have some movement on the offense.
Yeah, they're trying to go a little bit quick and trying to catch that Western defense off guard a little bit. In the meantime, you got the coaching staff still giving it.
They are seeing everything, and that ball is going to go back to the 40-yard line. So, again, 5 more yards of valuable real estate. As it looked like Backus was getting ready to go back and throw one downfield. So here on the Ready for Play, the 25-second clock starts in conjunction with, I would never insinuate anything, but now we've got, you cannot, 55's not going to go downfield. I saw an illegal formation where 55 was covered up, but they used him as a decoy. He didn't go downfield because otherwise you would have had an illegal formation on that last play.
Now, what constitutes, you're talking about the illegal formation, so tell the listeners at home what exactly constitutes an illegal formation.
Far side of the field, farthest wide receiver is on the line. Anybody else on that end of the line has to be off the line of scrimmage in order to be a viable option. Now, this is a legal formation with 4 people in the backfield. Backus throws to the outside, overthrows his intended target, which still would have been short of the first down, and it will be a 3rd down now and 15.
Pomeranke was on the intended receiver, but, the defender, O'Hara out there, fell down first for the Warriors. So if Pomeranke was able to come down with it, it had a chance at least a couple of yards after the one of your famous acronyms, the YAC. So just a little off high right there was Backus's pass, but.
And again, he's throwing with the wind, so that ball could have sailed a little bit on him. 3rd down and 15 right now. Motion going to the wide side of the field, and that's Fang trying to send that thing to the outside, and it's nearly intercepted by the Western Warriors. A little miscommunication on that route. Could have ended up, if he had picked that off and stayed on his feet, that could have been the proverbial picky 60.
Pick 6, but I tell you, there's a little miscommunication. Receiver went one way. Backus was trying to throw a timing route, tried to throw it out there, and the only person out there close enough to it was a Warrior defender, and went through his hands.
Well, they're going to be in a punting situation here. Again, maybe somebody from Western can get their hands on it and make that thing roll about 30 yards in the other direction. It looks like Coach Willards may use a timeout here late in the first half, and I think what he's going to do is he's going to say, make certain that we do not have a fake. We got to be ready for it defensively. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on BCTV.
Hi, I'm Zoe, and today I'm here to change your outlook on becoming a referee. Sometimes being a referee can be hard work, but I'm here to tell you that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Just think of the impact you could have on the younger generation, the laughs you could share, and the lives you could change. There's an unofficiated game that needs you.
Back on Bay County TV, coming out of the huddle, the Western defense, as Coach Willard says, hey, We will not allow a big play here on 4th down. So let's make sure that we do not overrush. We don't want to hit the quarter or the punter. We just want that thing to roll safely back. And with 42 ticks left, Midland Dow doesn't have any timeouts, so they'll only have to have the one snap, and we'll be going into the half. And see, he's just going to do a nice high kick and allowing his team to get downfield. That ball goes into the end zone. So with 34 ticks left and one timeout left, I believe they are going to have an option. Now, they've still got one timeout on the board for Dow. I do not believe they have any timeouts left in this first half.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a miscommunication on one of the timeouts that ended up being an official timeout or if they ended up giving it to Dow. But, you know, either way, I don't see them foreseeable unless something major happens here. But the other thing is, you know, Western's a big play offense. You tried last time. You ended up having to punt the ball back. You didn't take much time off the clock. So, you know, do you just take a knee here and call it good?
Yep, and I think that is the move, and you take that with that 31 seconds left, and they'll re-kick the 40-second clock. There they go. And what are they going to now they bring it to 40 seconds. I say you can't do 25 there. That's only on the first down change of possession. So the Western Warriors are going to be content with running out this first half clock. They will not have to snap the ball anymore. And we will be ready to roll here at the half. It's the Western Warriors 8 and the Midland Dow Chargers 8. We'll be back in a moment. We'll recap the first half, set the stage for the second half on BCTV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we are different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here to put the wraps on the first half of the game with our Collier Chiropractic halftime show. Jeff Doan and Jason Nushin along with you. Heavyweight battle in the first half where both of these teams really came out and delivered blows, but the defense in the first half really was outstanding.
I think it was a matter of defense really stepping up and then some untimely penalties that really put both teams into situations that would not like to be in. So, you know, the defense played well enough. You know, people were expecting that 45-44 type shootout that they had in game one. We're sitting here at 8-8. Your offense has played not bad. Again, it's just some untimely penalties, but really defensively, I think they're trying to figure everybody out. And again, everyone's taking punches right now. No haymakers right now being thrown.
Well, I think the magnitude of the excitement of this game, and again, as you said, there weren't a ton of penalties. It was just the timing of the penalties really thwarted drives, really put them back in situations where it was long. And I really think that both coaches need to address this at halftime.
Well, I think you're going to see maybe a little bit more comfortability in the second half on offense. I think both teams were, you know, in that situation where you're trying not to make the mistake. You're trying to play every play almost like just breathe, let it go out there. But, you know, I think this would be the type of game, you know, 8-8 here in the first half. This is going to be the type of game that's going to come down to field goals. I think, you know, if I'm a betting man, I just think there's going to be a chance. Blow people's mind. This game could end up 11-8 as far as I know.
Well, and I think when you look at the second half for the Western Warriors, they need to get Wiedike going because the first half, 67 yards rushing for O'Hare, but I think Wiedike needs to be a factor in the second half to make them competitive.
You know, he had 5 carries for 10 yards there in the first half. I think the big thing for him is the defense is going to start keying in a little bit more on O'Hara because, you know, he's ran 12 times for that 67 yards, as you alluded to. You know, but I think really just if they're going to really dial in on O'Hara, Wiedike's going to have a gap or two that some point's going to open. And I'm looking for him to spring one. And if he can spring one, and whether it's a touchdown or whether it's just a big chunk play, I think it's going to really ignite the rest of the offense. You know, Randall, you know, still waiting for him, but, you know, I know he's capable. You know he's capable, but so does Midland Dow. Midland Dow doesn't, you know, they're not sitting over there going, I wonder who this 22 is. So, you know, getting Wiedike going, getting him off that 10 yards, you know, I've seen him a couple of times, you know, Mount Pleasant really put the schneid to him a little bit. Last week he ran pretty wild against Bay City Central. So really, I think for them to have success, it's going to be, getting him the ball and giving him a chance to make some plays.
Both teams are going to have to make great adjustments at halftime to find out who comes away with a big win in the second half. We'll be back with all the second half action in just a moment on Bay County TV.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds
strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders.
And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Good evening and welcome back. Ready to rock here in the second half of a game tied at 8 at the half. Jeff Doan and Jason Newsham along with you. And we have got Nick Page producing, directing, and filming. He's outside in the elements, and we are inside. It's not heated, but we are comfortable. We are ready to go. The Warriors kicked off to start the game, Jason, and will receive to start the second half.
It's going to be a big opportunity to get their offense back on the field, try to regain some momentum, and definitely put some more points on the board.
And there is a high, deep kick, and that is going to go into the end zone. Western really playing a situation where they are putting about 7 to 8 people close to the box so that we can guard against any onside. And other than Mr. O'Hare, there's not a lot of great first-half stats.
I think the one thing about it is if you look at their first-half stats, it's, O'Hare ran 12 times for 67, Wiedike 5 times for 10 yards, Randall twice for 7 yards. But it really was their untimely penalties that really put them into bad situations.
And there it is, up the middle, Wiedike. He gains 10 in the first half. He gains 12 or 13 yards on the first play of the second half. So he is the key player in the second half, I think, Jason, for the Western Warriors.
Well, the good news for the Dow defense is 3 guys tackled O'Hara. The bad news for the Dow defense is O'Hara didn't have the ball. So they definitely were able to make penetration and get the ball, get O'Hara, but they forgot about Wiedike.
And there is Wiedike again banging forward. Does a nice job because he rolls over a body and he picks up 4 yards on the play. Now, with the big, strong, physical back, they may have changed up a little bit of their blocking schemes at halftime to allow Wiedike. And I think if Wiedike has any success, that's going to give O'Hare and Randall a much better chance to get to the outside.
True. I think you're just trying to soften everything up using Wiedike there. But, on the flip side of it, that conversation at halftime, that strategy that Coach Willis is going to have to talk to his offensive line and make sure that they're on the same page.
Yep, and again, a modest gain. They tried that, had some success with Wiedike leading through the hole and then trying to bring O'Hare through.
Well, Studebaker got in there. Kritz got in there.
So there was just a modest gain of about 2 yards on the play. It's going to be a big 3rd down and 5 yard to go situation for Western. As O'Hare goes all the way over to the sidelines. He'll get back to the huddle with about 12 left.
Nice to have a play clock. I think Coach Willis was pointing down there, hey, we're running low on time. You're going to have to hustle over here a little bit quicker. Run some stuff over to our sideline.
And more stuff is happening, more teams with that. There again is another chance to move forward. And, boy, the Western offense just could not outman the numbers that they went to the short side of the field, and Western had success in the first half with it. I think that's the first adjustment that Dow made at halftime, is to cut off that short side.
Well, and we're going in 4th and 4, too. We're also going to see just how Western was going to play it. They're going to look like they're going to punt this one away and try to, again, flip the field in terms of field position. But a couple of good runs, Wiedike there. O'Hara got stuffed. They're definitely making sure that they keep their assignments, because even when O'Hara handed it off, he was still being tackled.
And I'm wondering how much Dow is going to come after this. They are coming after it, and it is going to hit, and it is going to take just a little bit of a Western roll, maybe a couple of yards. But, boy, a couple of times they are very close to blocking that. And as a coach, Jason, I'm going to look up if they have to punt again. That might be a more opportune time to think about a fake to go to one of your up players. If they're all trying to get to that back line, you might be able to pull something off. So I think keep your sleeve open and accessible to that one up your sleeve for something later.
See what kind of magic hat Coach Willards is wearing tonight.
Backus again on first down. Trying to sweep to the right side of the field, and there is not much there as the Western defense gets out there, but getting about 5 yards out of nothing that time is Coates.
Now that's a pass, correct? I mean, he's going forward, he tosses it to him, it ends up being considered a pass. So, Backus's numbers right now are incredible in terms of his percentage, but he's only really thrown the one pass, which was early in the game where he got the ball out in the flat. Everything else has been pretty much shovel pass and helping his numbers and his percentage up there.
He has not been explosive in the passing game like we know he's been all year. And there's Fang again, and Fang is going by some people, and he's downfield, staying on his feet, down to the inside the 25-yard line to the 23. He's been the player that's had the big plays tonight for Midland Dow.
Certainly has, and maybe not one that shows up as the number one guy to stop on your scouting report. But, again, you saw it first half. He ran for the touchdown. He's had a couple other big runs. Doesn't surprise you at this situation, but it shouldn't surprise the Western defense either. They're going to have to make another adjustment and make sure that they have somebody on him.
We'll find out how that transpires here as it's 1st and 10 for the Dow Chargers from the 23-yard line of the Western Warriors. Again, Fang goes to the outside. Fang's got some running room. He's down inside the 10-yard line, and he's going to be down at about the 6-yard line. So Fang has turned into the secret weapon this ball game for the Dow Chargers.
Definitely somebody that Backus and Coach Peterson's known about and giving him the ball. But again, he's able to do a lot of the same things we're talking about with the Warrior rush. He's able to hit some of those spots, and he's got some strength to him in his little legs, and he keeps them churning, going the right direction, and he's able to take a couple of those would-be tacklers and shed them a little easier than Coach Willich would like his defense to be shed.
Well, and he's got a burst of speed, too, when he gets to the open field. Just a touch of elusiveness, but I think he turns on the jets, and he has been a handful for the Western defense. Let's see how they respond here. 1st and goal from the 7 for the Dow Chargers. And the Midland Dow Chargers need to take a timeout. And, boy, with 8:03 left in the third quarter, Jason, you don't want to be burning one here, but you also don't want to miss an opportunity down on your end.
No, you're going to want to try to put this ball. You want to get some points on the board. Solid kicker, but with the weather conditions, the slippery ball, the wet, that exchange and everything else that you're going to have everything go correctly.
Let's take a moment and thank some of our sponsors. Covenant Healthcare. Got a sick child, son or daughter get injured in a sporting event? Bring them to one of our Covenant Healthcare's over 20 locations in the Great Lakes Bay region to get checked out. They offer a full range of medical services, and their Bay City location even offers an after-hours injury care. Find out by visiting their website at covenanthealthcare.com. Frank's Great Outdoors. Great Outdoors is the Great Lakes Bay region's premier outdoor shopping destination. From fishing to hunting to home decor, their 30,000 square foot store has it all for you. 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, and that's Frank's Great Outdoors. Again, another 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. And there is, looks Fang again. He's down to the 4-yard line, and boy, he just slipped through a small hole there, Jason, and got 3.
Well, A.J. Fang standing at 6 feet, 215, the senior. And now Back is trying to use his 6'5" frame to stretch out over.
He gets to the 2.
Yeah, they went with a little hurry up there, trying maybe to, again, catch the Western defense, out of position, sleeping a little bit. As the ball boy is now running out to do a little dry exchange.
He's the only one that's run more than Fang tonight. He's going out about every 2 plays, and he gets out there and he skedaddles right back to the sideline.
He could go all the way.
He's the only one that gets to say, hey, I don't have to go back to the 25-yard line. I'm just going to keep wiping this ball down and running it out every couple of plays. Huge play in the ball game right now, 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line.
You're going to want a touchdown if you're Dow in this possession. Again, you're not going to want to get into a situation, but
Backus to the outside, slips in between 2 defenders into the end zone. It's a Midland Dow Charger touchdown.
Nice play, nice execution. Again, we talk about Backus's patience with that run right there, and he waited until the last second. Western knew what was expecting it, but you know what? When you got that guy that can just wait for that right block or that right opportunity to go north and south, and Backus definitely did that. So big opportunity to put 2 more points on the board here.
This is a huge 2-point conversion in this game. It's 14-8 right now. Backus looks over the Western defense. Brings motion to the near field side of the field. Backus takes it himself. He did not get to the goal line. That 2-point conversion is no good. Time out of the field with 6:56 left in the 3rd. Midland Dow Chargers 14, Western Warriors 8. Back in a moment on BCTV.
So your car is getting towed and you're not sure where to take it? Try Village Towing and Auto Repair. Our expert mechanics are here to help assist you with all your repair needs. We have over 30 years of experience with motor vehicles, so you know you're getting the best work that you can find. Stop by the shop at 2377 South Huron Road in Coquitlam, or give us a call at 989-684-9607.
Looking at the scoreboard right now with 6:56 left in the 3rd, 14-8. The Dow Chargers over the Western Warriors, as the Western offense will need to find a little spark here in a ball game that in the 4th quarter, if Western needs it, are going to have the wind at their back.
Well, I think the one thing you'll see about Western too now that they're down is maybe a little bit more aggression on the decision on the 4th down. And, what are you putting at, now that the ball goes into the end zone, going to put the ball out to the 20-yard line for the Warriors, a starting point. But, you're going to be in a situation, you're going to look for maybe a sustained drive, keep your defense off the field, give them a little bit of a chance to rest, relax a little bit. But, again, they've had a couple of good flashes in a bottle, but they haven't been able to put it together since the first possession. And their first possession also started deep in the territory, so they didn't have but 20-some-odd yards to go to score their first touchdown. So limiting their miscues at this point and making sure that they can keep their offense on the field, I think, are 2 big things.
Well, I think Wiedike has shown flashes of what we've seen all year long in the 3rd quarter, and I think that they're going to try and utilize him again. But I think Dow shutting down that short side run for Western, it was huge in that first possession of the 3rd quarter.
Well, the thing about Dow is because Western's limited in their passing game is they're just loading up everybody up front. So, O'Hara runs up there, tries to get himself another 5-yard gain as he's accustomed to.
And again, he is following Wiedike. And when Wiedike gets a full head of steam, he's going to move the pile when he hits it.
Most quarterbacks, 5'10", 185, he's really a running back and playing the quarterback position. But it's one of those things, too, where you got to be able to add your pass in there at some point, just to mix it up and to keep everybody honest on that defensive side.
As Western comes up again, they don't spend a lot of time at the line of scrimmage. O'Hare does a great job of making people miss. He picks up about 13 yards on the play out to the 38-yard line. Does the little jump up over one of the defenders and comes back down to the earth and makes another huge gain on the play. So nice opportunity for the Western Warriors to move the sticks and playing with a little confidence in this drive, and they need to keep pushing it down the field.
Well, they get a little reset now, 1st and 10. Again, it's going to be getting that positive gain. And, when you're averaging 4 or 5 yards on 1st down, it does make it easier on your 2nd down play call.
And there is Wiedike up the middle, and Western really could not make anything move as Dow clogged that hole in a hurry.
Well, they are definitely trying to take away that middle. Again, you're picking your poison. O'Hara trying to get to the outside, Wiedike up the middle. But, they've done a nice job shutting down O'Hara on the short side, and they've trying to make sure that Wiedike doesn't continue to battery ram his way through the defenders. But again, if you get through that first line, they've got 7 guys up front. So if you get through, it's you and
And again, another opportunity forward. And there goes O'Hare. He's at the 40, the 35, the 30, the 25, 20, 15, 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Just like we were talking about, if you can get through that first line, they got 7, 8 guys up there, and then all of a sudden you make one move, you got a lot of real estate back there. It's a high risk defense, and then you get the high reward on offense if you're able to break through, which the Warriors just did.
Again, defensive back with the angle on O'Hare, and O'Hare was able to run to the pylon and make that happen. Now it looks like they're going to want to try the conversion, moving that ball to the far hash. You can put it in the middle, or you can bring it to the right or the left, and that's what Coach Willards wants. This is a huge two-point conversion in this game. Western stopped Midland Dow on their two-point conversion, and Western, I would say, is shooting at about 70% on the year with their two-point conversion. See if they can take a two-point lead.
Definitely a strength of their team this year. They've been able to put the ball into the hands of O'Hare and Wiedek a lot of times.
He's good. He's into the end zone. The two-point conversion is good. Time out of the field now with 5:05 left in the third. It is the Western Warriors 16 and the Dow Chargers 14. Back in a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back here on Bay County TV as we take a look at Mr. O'Hare. He's elated right now that he was able to bring the Western Warriors back out in front of this game now with just over 5 minutes left in this third quarter. One play really changed the momentum in this game.
That it did, and I think you're looking at a heavyweight type battle. You know, boxing, you use boxing analogy. You saw the first half, they kind of slugged it out a little bit both ways, both team exchanging a touchdown, 8-8 at halftime. Well, they've put touchdowns back-to-back here real quick here in the third quarter, so maybe loosening things up a little bit.
Chope with a great kick, and that is muffed and going way back to inside the 10-yard line, and the ball's down to the ground. Who's got their hands on the ball? It looks like Dow was lucky enough to get their hands back on it, but they are going to start back at their own 10-yard line. Oh, the old wet pigskin was sitting there for the taking, and the Dow Chargers were able to pull that thing back in and do the little cocoon on the ball to keep possession.
Well, the only one that was excited about that was A.J. Fang, because he figures this is just more room for him to add to his rushing stats if he's able to continue to get that ball with some momentum going in the north and south direction.
Officially at the 11-yard line, though, boy, always something to be said when that goal line is back on your heels. Backus trying to come to the near side. They pitch that thing to the outside. Looking for some real estate again is Fang, and he runs out of bounds at the 21-yard line, so he's got a gain of about 8 yards.
Yeah, Coach with the big run there. I thought,
yep,
yeah, Coach coming through the strong side. I thought, you know, the one thing about it was you had Brennan Buck out there for the Warriors. Had a great position, but he wasn't able to keep him on the inside to turn him back in. He ended up getting pinned. So what looked like it was going to be a minimal gain turned into an opportunity for a second and short.
And Backus again comes forward, makes somebody miss, takes a big shot from one of the defensive backs from the Western Warriors.
Be enough for a first down for the Chargers as, you know, Backus taking another hit again at that 6'5" frame, just trying to chop him down one piece at a time.
But he just seems to be rubbery because he bounces right back up after he'll take a good hit down around the thighs and the knees and acts like nothing happened.
Gumby.
Yes,
Gumby back
indeed.
in the day for you 1980s fans of old cartoon television. That's right. Claymation at its finest.
Handoff to the outside. And again, a gain of about 5 yards on the play as the Dow Chargers are methodically starting to move the ball deep from their own end. out to the 31-yard line, gain of about 6 on the play. It'll be second down and about 4.
You know, aside from that early fumble from Dow, I've been really impressed with how both teams have been able to hang on to the ball in these conditions. Again, you know, your hands are getting a little colder. It's not a warm rain. It's not a warm night. But both teams have been able to hold on to the ball. It hasn't been a sloppy game. Penalties have marred it a little bit for each team, but overall, keeping the ball in your hands has been a strength.
There's the handoff, and that is going to go to Fang again. He makes somebody miss again. Only one person left for Western that can catch him. Down at the 10-yard line. He's finally brought down, and Fang bites the Western defense again.
Well, they were looking for, the number 34 out there was looking for a horse collar, but let's explain why it wasn't a horse collar, because when he grabbed him by the back of the jersey, Fang was able to go forward. He wasn't pulled back in that direction to
the whiplash
effect. So,
yep.
You know, again, we talked about Fang not minding it being 90 or 89 yards from the pay dirt as he takes that one right. You know, it just takes, he makes one guy miss, and all of a sudden he's right through it. And again, 6 foot, 215.
And it's shift and then speed.
Yes.
First and goal from the 10-yard line. Back
is on the
he's
keeper.
Inside the 5, down to the 2, pushing the pile forward to the 1-yard line. I think they'll officially have him down at the 2, but he got almost 8 yards of real estate on one play, and then he used that 6'5" frame to fall forward.
You know, I think you're looking at a couple of things. There's a lot of misdirection there, a couple of things. And again, defensively, you keep seeing Fang, you keep seeing 26, you keep seeing Coates at number 22, and you start seeing them, and you're keying in on them, and all of a sudden you're forgetting that big number 9 is rumbling right up the middle.
Second down and goal, just outside the 1-yard line. And boy, that is
that's
they're
easy.
Just pushing the pile forward, and you can push the pile forward. You can't push the runner forward.
Interesting, the bush push.
Yes, indeed. That's what your brother's rugby team looked like. And it's a Midland Dow Charger touchdown.
Well, I think both of these teams now offensively have kind of eased up here in the second half, as we've seen 3 touchdowns here in the third quarter alone.
I think both teams have made some big and necessary adjustments.
Offensively,
yes. Now another big 2-point conversion here.
Yeah, you're going to put Western in a position where they're going to have to get the point after if they're able to put another point on the board or another touchdown on the board.
Backus is going to throw that ball, and there was really nobody in the neighborhood. And, of course, the Midland Dow people say something had to be wrong. That play didn't look right. Well, it just wasn't well executed, and that's that. Time on the field now with 2:54 left in the third quarter. The Dow Chargers 20, the Western Warriors 16. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Over the years, he's put his heart into being your dad. He was always there to fix things. Now that he needs help, don't lose hope. Covenant Center for the Heart is leading the way in minimally invasive heart options for inoperable or high-risk patients, with the first and most comprehensive structural heart disease program in the Great Lakes Bay region. It's extraordinary heart care, close to home.
All right, as we look back here on the sidelines, that big number 9, him and Fang ought to be best friends on the sideline because they chewed up the majority of the 89 yards on that drive.
Great drive, you know, is a great opportunity for those guys to get back on after their defense gave up the long run to O'Hara, and you always wonder if they're coming back on with any degree of momentum in that situation or if it's deflating, but they definitely put the wind back in the Dow sails, and now they are 20-16 ahead of the Warriors. Definitely a lot different offensive setup, both from the first to half to just into the third quarter alone. So interesting again to see what Western's going to do, and if Dow maybe pulls 7-8 guys off that front line and maybe plays a little bit more of the containment, more of the spy stuff, because they can't continue to give up the big plays.
I don't see Dow changing their 8- and 9-man front to shut down the running game. I think that Western has not had to rely a lot in the second half on the wide side sweep, and they have not gone back to Randall since early in the ball game. So I think they're trying to keep that for a time where they think they can hit a big one.
Well, I think we're thinking a little bit alike, because I was thinking Randall's name on the tip of my tongue, just getting him a touch one way or the other, even trying to get him in the situation.
And as we speak, Randall comes forward at the ball for a 5-yard gain, and 5 yards is a great start on first down.
It's a great start, and it's something that they've been close to averaging on first down, but I still am hoping that we can see O'Hara air it out a little bit. Maybe not, I'm not talking downfield, but even a quick pass, maybe run a little screen action that they tried with Batch-Galupa there in the first half that just fell a little short. But, again, something that you're going to have to keep this Dow defense honest.
We'll find out what they've got up their sleeve now on 2nd down and 5 from their own 25. Just over 2 minutes left in the third.
There's Wiedike leading the pack again. O'Hara trying to get to the outside, unfortunately unable to turn the corner.
And one
nice
of the
tackle.
Western Warriors may have, looks like Merrithew might have twinged his ankle a little bit.
That's a nice stop by Brennan Horn, the 5'11", 165-pound senior for the Chargers. Again, it's all about your assignment and maintaining. So they go from 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 5. Not sure if it's going to change your play call, your what you're able to dial up in this situation very much, or if it, but Western's been playing like this all year, waiting for the right move. And again, when you got guys averaging 9+ yards a carry, it makes you pretty comfortable and confident as a coach.
I'm looking at Merrithew on this play to see if he has an opportunity to make it move. And again, Dow just slams the door on that last rushing attempt by the Western Warriors, and they really had that play snuffed out.
They did, and they had a couple guys on Wiedike, and they had a couple guys on O'Hara, and O'Hara was the one who kept the ball on the option there. But again, that's what we said that Dow was going to have to do at the beginning of the game. They were going to have to make sure they had guys stay their assignment and keep their assignments and stay disciplined with it. They're going to send one lone man back as another opportunity to try and rush the punt.
And they made a whole different move this time, as Dow is just going to let that ball roll down at the 43. There was nothing in the rush other than one player coming up the middle, because they may have sensed the same thing that we saw earlier. If you come with 8 or 9, then you could potentially give up a fake.
Yeah, absolutely. I doubt that they're listening to what we have to say because of our lack of coaching football prowess. But, another thing that we're going to be paying attention to is the rain seems to have started back up here, and the coming down a little bit, sheeting a little bit, coming through.
You look over on one of these soccer goals over here, and you can see it's coming down pretty steady.
Let's see if it changes up anything with the way Dow is running the ball.
This should be the last play of the third quarter, as Fang again bangs forward for a gain of about 7 over midfield to the 49-yard line before he's finally brought down by the Western Warriors. And that is Wyndon, and that'll be the end of our third quarter. I don't really think that Dow's in a hurry to do anything unless they want to get one more play off with the win, but they're not throwing the football, so I would be shocked if they don't run to the line of scrimmage and just try and draw Western off.
Well, down to 4 seconds. Well, almost, and they did. Now tell us the high school rules when it comes to the offside on the defensive side.
Well, I'm going to tell you by watching that right now, the line judge makes the call. The ball is on the side. The person that moved for Western, from what I saw, was on the head linesman's side of the field. That is not the line judge's call. He only goes up to the center. Everything on the other side is the head linesman. So for him to throw that flag right now, and I believe right now that could be a conversation between those two officials, that he did not go. It was on my side of the field. I did not think it was a penalty. At the end of the quarter, though, it will be 20-16 Dow Chargers over the Western Warriors. We'll take a quick break and be back in a moment on Bay County TV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating, both meeting current state guidelines. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back as we are ready to start this fourth quarter of play, the Dow Chargers with a couple of touchdowns here in the third quarter. Western Warriors with a touchdown in the third quarter. And the Warriors on defense right now, trying to defend this 44 yards of real estate. And I'm not quite sure what they're talking about right now. They seem to have things set and situated. 1st and 10 for the Dow Chargers. 12 minutes of regulation football left. There's Fang again, and Fang bangs forward for about another 6 yards on the play. He just seems to be slippery enough that the Western Warriors cannot hit him at the line of scrimmage on that first surge.
He's making it into the second line of defense for the Warriors before the touch is coming through. So again, it's you're watching back as you're watching coach. You got your eyes on everything, and you still got crits out there. So you got your eyes on a bunch of different things going on there. And Fang has been able to be the beneficiary of you paying attention to somebody else besides 2-6.
Backus with another handoff, and that goes to Fang again, and he gets down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, and he is just picking up huge chunks of real estate as the Western defense just hasn't had an answer for Fang yet here in this ball game.
No, they have not. I think the other thing that we're going to be looking at, Coach Peterson telling his guys, hey, let's make sure we're holding on to the ball. We got to make sure that we're protecting everything, keep the clock, again, down in distance, know the time, know where we're at. Our drives are great, points are great, but let's make sure we're taking care of the ball, and let's make sure we stay mentally tough.
Well, he's shortened up the playbook, too. He hasn't gone with a lot of pitches and stuff as this time trying to pull forward, getting hit right away, but still able to fall forward for that extra 2 yards with that 6'5" frame is Backus.
Yeah, he's a really nice player. He hasn't disappointed with his ability to maintain control of the offense. I thought he's played pretty efficient between running, handing it off on the options, and making sure that his little shovel passes, again, the downfield pass has been a little bit off, but overall maintaining really good game presence, game management.
Good formation. Again, it's Fang as he gets down to the 21-yard line, and he is going to be just shy of that first down marker. Again, a Western Warrior right there in position at the line of scrimmage. Cannot come up with that tackle, and Fang gets the extra 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, he makes the one guy miss, and the next thing you know, it's he's off, and thought he could have got tripped up a little bit behind, but again, his big thing right now is maintaining control on that football, not losing it, not turning it over, and making sure that they keep plowing ahead forward.
Backus with the seam again, very patient run inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line before he's finally hit, as it is a huge Backus run, and again, starts with the patience, sees the block, reads the block, runs off the block.
And he reminds me a lot of a law enforcement, the way he was there, maintaining his hand right on his lead blocker, making sure that he knew his blocker knew where he was at, and he knew where the blocker was at, and he was able to take it for 14-yard gain down to the 5-yard line. So 1st and goal with 9:30 left here in the fourth quarter.
Backus up to the line of scrimmage again, single back in the backfield. He's going to take it himself, coming to the near side. He gets cut down, but he still falls forward to just inside the 3-yard line. Again, he's very hard to hit and push back.
Well, they thought they had a nice stop right there, maybe line of scrimmage or maybe even a negative yard, but he was able to shed one, and he was able to fall forward for 2. So down to the 3-yard line.
Here's the big opportunity for the Western defense to come up with 3 stops here from the 3-yard line. Find out if they can do it. Backus goes up under center, and he's going to push the pile forward. He's not going to get into the end zone, but he is down to about the 1-yard line.
I would say no whistle. That was a long scrum with no whistle. Usually you're hearing whistles right when they think his momentum stopped, but
this offense, they're really not, when they get down there in the 3 and they bring that big 6'5", 215-pound quarterback up under center, they're not trying to trick anybody with their play.
Well, Western counters themselves out there with
And you've got to have your defensive nose and tackles have got to just submarine and not allow the offensive lineman to do anything. There's Backus again, and Western jumps offside, and that will cost them a half a yard.
Still not what you want, you as Coach Willits, you want your guys to be a little bit more focused and dialed in on that. And, right now everyone's a little edgy, a little jumpy.
And I credit Backus for altering the snap count. He went on the second count, and that's just good football. Defense is anxious. They're trying to fire off the ball. It's 3rd and goal now from just inside the 1 yard line. Backus again, he's going to come up under. And I don't know that he got in.
Yes, sir.
They are saying he's into the end zone. It's a Midland Dow Charger touchdown.
That was a very indecisive call.
And I'm going to tell you something else right now that makes me go, is when he comes up to the line of scrimmage, he has got to set himself for a second. He did not set himself for a half a second, and he was able to run that play. Now we're going to talk right now what the officials are doing on the field. That should be a penalty.
Well, with no instant replay, the thing is you had the far official ruled touchdown. The near side official never ruled anything.
I think they're going to have illegal procedure on the offense. It's going to be a false start.
Now, when you say he's got to come to a stop, is it a second? He just has
one full second.
Okay.
Yep. And he did not. He wasn't there for a half second.
No, he just gets it and goes.
And the Midland Dow coach is waving his arms. He can't be real pleased by what's happening, but we're going to see a 5-yard penalty, and that is the correct call, and I believe they're going to have a procedure because Backus never was set for that second.
I thought that a couple of times when he's gotten up there. I understand he's trying to catch the defense off guard, but, not having it called, it's tough to say that it's a penalty when it's not called. It's not a penalty unless it's called a penalty.
And that's called a crew saver. So what they're saying is it's a 5-yard penalty for assisting the runner. The penalty is still the same, but I still feel like he's got to be up there and set, and he is not. So it's 3rd down and 6 from just inside the 6-yard line. So now we're going to find out what Dow can come up with as they've got to try and get 6 yards worth of real estate here. As Backus is going to take it to the near side of the field. He stumbled a little bit, finds another block, and he gets down to the 3-yard line again, maybe the 2, before he's finally knocked down to the ground.
Well, 4th down, you got a decision to make. Do you try to?
There's no decision here.
Put the extra point on,
if
or
they get
the
a
field goal
touchdown here, man, they're going to be up by 2 scores. If not, they're going to have Western 98 or 99 yards away. One of the Western Warriors is injured here, and he needs to go down. He needs to drop down on the ground right now so that he can be replaced. The officials have, there he goes. That's what you have to do because he is not going to get off the field before that happened. So now they have officials timeout, and they will take care of that injured player. We'll take a quick break and hold the thought. TJ back in a moment on Bay County TV.
You treat your family with extraordinary care every day, which is why when it comes to their health, more of you choose Covenant Healthcare. We specialize in extraordinary care, from diagnosis to recovery, from babies to grandparents. Learn more about our extraordinary bariatrics program. Sign up for our free seminar.
This could be the play of the ball game. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. The Western defense is set. The Dow offense ready to go. Backus tries to run the ball. He's shut down at the 3-yard line and thrown back. The Western defense is held with 6:31 left in the ball game. TJ, what a great stand.
Well, they needed an opportunity right there. They were lucky enough to get the official calling the penalty on the push. Moved them back to the 6-yard line after an apparent score by Backus and keeping them out of the end zone. 95 yards away from a go-ahead touchdown at the moment with 6 minutes, 31 seconds left. This isn't unnecessary what Western is okay with. They're okay with this because they got that big play capability.
Well,
now's
they're
your opportunity.
97 yards away. Looks like they're maybe on their own 3-yard line.
Oh, okay.
But they certainly love having their hands on the ball. Trying to bank forward. O'Hare's got real estate, and he gets up over the 10-yard line to the they'll mark him right at the 10, so he picks up a solid 6 on first down.
Just didn't look like it was going to go anywhere, and then if he squeezes past that last defender right there, we're going to see just how fast he is. But, again, it's stick with what you guys are strong with right now. A great drive. Coach Willich would love to see a sustainable drive ending in a touchdown with very little time, if any, left on the clock.
Well, and what you're seeing from Western, too, is with their hands on the ball, making stuff happen. Out and new. He's at the 40, the 50, the 40, the 35, the 30, the 20, the 10, the 15, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Into the end zone. It's a Western Warrior touchdown.
Who said didn't have wheels?
Who said he didn't have wheels? He
90
put
yards.
On the Betty and the Jets down the sideline. He got a push from his Western fans on the sideline and said, I'm going to go coast to coast with this huge play that went 90 yards for pay dirt.
What a run. It got through the line, no safety help, and it was just him and the defenders from Dow chasing. Now we're talking big conversion here opportunity. Get the 2-point, now you're a touchdown ahead for Dow. If they don't get it here, they're just a field goal away for Midland Dow from a field goal position.
But Dow is going into the wind in the fourth quarter, so even without the 2-point conversion, that will be tough to kick a field goal. So we'll find out right now as O'Hare is going to be stopped short of the goal line. So with time out on the field with 5:43 left in the ball game, Western 22, Midland Dow 20. Back for the last 5:43 in just a moment on BCTV.
Inside, outside, or even in your home, there are lots of ways to enjoy amazing food from Bay City Bills. Our dining room is ready for you, and so is our new outdoor seating. And we are ready for you with takeout too. Stop in to Bay City Bills at 1215 Michigan Avenue, or find us on Facebook or at www.baycitybills.com to see our full menu.
Back here on Bay County TV as we take a peek right now at the western side of the field in the huddle. They're 5:43 away from having a probable game with Traverse City Central. Our last check at the end of the first half, that was 28-0 Traverse City. So that would be the potential for Western to go on play on another carpet way up at Thurlby Field in Traverse City, but we still have 5:43 left in this game that we got to see what'll happen.
This Midland Dow offense specifically hasn't really been stopped until that last possession by this Western defense, and now it's going to be interesting to see if the Western defense can maintain that momentum that they were able to start up on that last possession after Dow got it down to the 1.
And now you're in a situation again, TJ, where you will be kicking with the wind. So the best thing that they can do right now is kick that ball deep, see if they can get it into the end zone, and won't start till the 20-yard line. But the ball went off the tee, so they'll have another opportunity to tee that thing up as Chope will make it happen.
Kritz and Parker back there for Dow to receive. Have had quite a few touchbacks this game.
There's a short kick, and that will be returned from the 14-yard line. Trying to come upfield with a return out to the 40 is number
Kritz.
3 on the play, Kritz.
Yeah, nice return. It's exactly what they were looking for. It's the gamble you kick. You kicked it right to him. You didn't make him have to run too far for it. He was able to step into it, got a couple of good blocks, and then decided to take it to the near side for us and found a couple of lanes over there.
1st and 10 for the Dow Chargers. 5:35 left in the game.
60 yards away from a go-ahead score for Backus and the Chargers.
Backus with the handoff to the near side again. trying to make a couple of people miss, and a gain on the play of about 3 to 4 yards out to the 43, maybe the 44-yard line as the Western defense got there in a hurry, and that was the bookends of number 24, Melick, and number 42, Irvin.
Yeah, you got Batchgalupo in there. You had O'Hara in there. I think that was the a focus there on the defensive possession right there. Make sure, hey, we're getting all of our hats over there. We're following the ball, and we're going to make sure everyone gets there.
And that's a pretty good stop on first down for the Western Warriors, keeping Dow in second and medium.
Keeping Fang in check.
As Backus is back to throw the ball, he double pumps down the field, and that pass is complete down at the 28-yard line. And boy, still down both the Western defender and the receiver on the play. He's coming off the field right now, and that looks like it's number 34.
Nolan Fisher. He got hit. It looked like he was cringing on the catch. Hit came down, and
yeah, he looks like he's hanging on to ribs on the sideline. But
he held on to the ball.
How much time did Backus have to throw that ball? He was going to the wide side of the field. He was able to look to his secondary and threw a strike. Backus is again the ball carrier, and he bangs forward for a gain of about 4 down to the 22-yard line. May have gotten 5 on the play. And when he fakes that pitch, he's faking that pitch to nobody back there,
right,
Jason. And he's still able to push forward for a gain of about 5.
The defense for Western is going to have to buckle in right now. They're going to have to play their best football of their season here in the last 4 minutes as we go under 4 minutes for the fourth quarter here in the.
And that chunk play with that last pass completion was big. Now they're trying to get that thing to the outside. Another seam and a first down for the ball carrier on the play, Carter Coates. As it will be enough to move the sticks again down to the 13-yard line and up for another 1st and 10 for the Midland Dow Chargers, down by 2 with 3:37 left in regulation.
Well, we talked about that play coming out of the timeout being one of the biggest plays of the game in terms of the season for Western. Well, this possession right here has turned in every play is becoming their most important play of their season.
Handoff again. Coates gets up and he bangs forward for a couple of yards just inside the 10, officially to the 9. They will give him a gain of 2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8. Clock becoming a factor now, Jason, as we're at 3 minutes and counting left in the game.
Interesting enough, the Chargers can still get a first down at the 1-yard line or inside the 1-yard line. So, they still have an opportunity, not a first and goal situation. So, again, getting the ball to the center of the field, keeping the ball running up and down. Again, your field goal kicker, yes, it's a little windy out there, but you're keeping it where he's going to be comfortable if he has to get out there.
And a handoff to the near side of the field. Western defense, superb job. Who's out there? Is that Batchgalupo?
No, Chope running sideline to sideline, making sure he was full speed ahead, making sure he was stopping that play.
Western's going to use a timeout right now because they need to save some clock, and the clock just continues to run. And Coach Willard says, hey, wait a minute, man, the clock's running. We're taking time off the clock. And the head linesman over there says, Coach, we'll get it right. We know exactly how much time needs to be on there, and they're probably going to add about 10 seconds back to that time. So they're going to hopefully figure that out because there was about 10 seconds ran off that clock.
Yeah, and it was interesting because, he blew the whistle, waved the arms. But you know what? This timeout gives you an opportunity to talk a little bit more about the sponsors who bring this lovely sports contest to you on Bay County TV.
Collier Chiropractic. Come see the difference at Collier Chiropractic. They are a family-owned local business located on Traxler Court in Bay City, and they offer innovative treatment and care for their patients. Village Towing and Auto Repair. Keys locked in your car dead on the side of the road? Give Village Towing and Auto Repair a call to get you back on the road. Over 30 years of experience That is Village Towing and Auto. So they put 2:26 back on the clock. They got it right. And it will be a big 3rd down, 7-yard to go situation. This officiating crew has earned their money tonight as Backus looks over the defense. Fang going in motion to the wide side. Trying to scoot to the outside. The Western defense looked like they had him stopped, and he squirted forward and got down to the 5-yard line. That is Kritz. So now we are going to have a timeout, and it's going to be Western again. And this is going to obviously, if Western can stop them here, they're going to get the ball back. But Dow has got all their timeouts left. So
they called that one timeout with 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and they were at the 7-yard line, and I know we were both kind of scratching our head, but at that time it was 8-8. The game was kind of in that chess match where you played one move in 2011 and you came back in 2013 for the next move, and they were wanting to make sure they put points on the board, but then it turned into a little bit of a shootout there. So you can't fault them for making sure that they put the points on the board at that time, but now they're looking back, maybe would love to have that other one back, but it all depends on this play. Again, another play of the game is coming up.
Well, if you're Western, you have to just, I think, roll the dice and send 11 people. If Backus beats you with the pass, then I think so be it. But they have run the ball efficiently during this game, and I think that that's what it's going to come down to. I either see Fang or Backus here with this run on 4th down.
And I do apologize. I was incorrect. I was thinking it was the 1-yard line was the first down, but the 3-yard line is where they have to get to. So, just a 2-yard gain here would give them 1st and goal. But, big stop and a big opportunity for the Western defense to show their mettle.
Here it is, another humongous play for both teams' season. Backus looks things over. He takes a long, hard count. He was hoping to draw them off, and that does not happen. He's still got 15 seconds left. He's going to redo the call from the sidelines, and they're going to take a timeout themselves, I think. Are they going to finally run a play? Nope, they're going to take a delay of game on 4th down. On 4th and 2, I tell you, this is absolutely puzzling to me.
I'm not sure if the field goal unit's coming on as Backus is coming off. Give him a little bit better angle maybe. If you weren't able to draw him off, now you're able to.
They're going to give them the timeout. I did not see Coach run anywhere for a timeout. And now they are going to, from that angle, they're going to have a field goal opportunity. And this is only a 21-yard field goal. It is into the wind.
Same thing you're telling your defense. Make sure you stay on the count. Do not jump. Do not give them a free. Do not give them a free opportunity to get a 1st down and goal and put Backus back on the field.
I'm just trying to find out where this timeout was called from, because I didn't see Coach running down to the sidelines, and it had to have been Backus, but normally that timeout comes from the sideline. That's something that's asked in pregame by the White Hat. The White Hat says, who can call timeout? So that is determined before anything happens in the pregame. And maybe they gave Backus the chance to call that timeout, or gave him the power or ability to do it, because I didn't see anybody from the coaching staff that got anybody's attention on the sideline.
No, I didn't either, and I saw him kind of waving over at Backus and waving him over, which kind of led us to believe he was going to call a timeout, but I'm not sure if Backus didn't see that, or was, they were on the far side from where Coach Peterson was trying to wheel him over back from, so this just gives Backus a little bit more time to try to lobby in for put him back out there for the 4th down conversion.
Well, I think from where they're at on the field, it is a tough angle, but they're close enough that I think they feel confident from 22 yards that they can make that happen. But you've got to have a good snap. You've got to have a good hold. You got to put that hold down after you catch it, and it's got to be in sync with your field goal kicker. In adverse conditions, there's a lot that can go wrong, and it will not take long for us to figure out. Now, the referee is over talking with Coach Willards for a second.
Well, I think everyone is.
I still think they're talking about how did that timeout transpire or take place. And I can only speculate here, Jason, but that would be what I'm saying is how did they get that timeout called when it didn't look like Coach did it? Now, Coach is down here on the 12-yard line right now, and he can't be outside his box at the 25-yard line.
Well, I think everything is kind of off kilter here a little bit. We got another stoppage of play, another timeout. Now we have a timeout.
We're going to take a break here. We got to figure things out. Back in a moment on BCTV.
Ow, ow, ouch! My hip, my knee, my joints feel out of whack. Ow, ow, oh my! The pain, I can't take it anymore.
Back here on BCTV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Nick Page along with you. It'll be 22 yards officially. It will be from the far left hash. It will be into a 10-mile-an-hour wind. It's going to take a good snap. It's going to take, you got to grab it, you got to put it down. The timing has got to be right with the kicker. And I'll tell you, Coach Peterson must feel confident that he's going to have all those things happen. The kick is up. The kick is long enough, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. What are the clocks still running for? The clock has got to stop at 2:08. We've got a 23-22 score. We know that for sure, but 5 seconds went off of the clock. And I'll tell you, if that 5 seconds comes back to haunt them, I will not be happy with the clock operator. I know it's a tough job, but they've got to get 2:08 back on the clock. We're going to take another quick break and be back on Bay County TV.
Is your pain holding you back from things you enjoy, like playing with your grandchildren or participating in a sport? At Collier Chiropractic, we specialize in neck pain, back pain, headaches, or sciatica that won't go away. If you've tried chiropractic, you've tried physical therapy, you've gone to your medical doctor with no results, or you take medication and it doesn't even touch your pain, then put this number in your phone, give us a call, see how we're different at Collier Chiropractic Bay City.
Back here on Bay County TV, Jeff Doan, Jason Newsham, and Nick Page doing the producing, directing, and the camera tonight. The Western Warriors will have about 2 minutes, 5 seconds wasted on the clock, and 2 timeouts left.
Well, they still have Dow up there for 1 timeout, and I'm not sure how you can call back-to-back timeouts at that end when they only had 2 left and still be sitting with 1. And again, with the scorekeeper, the way he's been running the clock, I'm not quite sure that's right, and I'm sure that they have it right and correct down there on the field with the officials.
Well, and they're talking right now. Coach Willards has gotten the word from the people up in the booth that clock is not correct, and 2:08 is back on. I am glad that they were able as a crew to rectify that again.
This is why I like when the officials have the mics, when they're mic'd up and you're able to make that decision and that conversation earlier, that rather than having third-party people trying to get things taken care of.
And this will be a returnable kick, and that's going to go out of bounds, so no time is going to come off the clock. And the Western Warriors are going to get the ball at the 35-yard line, so that's a mistake by the Dow Chargers on that kick, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think they were necessarily, I don't think they were caring about kicking it to the up man. I don't think they wanted any of the back guys to get it, but still, kicking it out of bounds, putting it at the 35 is going to give them an opportunity to get rolling, unless they're going to make them kick it again. Which it looks like they may be making them kick it again.
Well, Western wants the opportunity to have that big return.
Well, they would have got it at the 35, so anything greater than that was a great decision. Anything less than that was a bad decision. That's how coaching works. After coaching for many years, I can tell you that you shoot a 3 when you're down 2 and you make it, you're great. If you miss it, you should have went for the deuce, and you're just never going to make someone happy.
Retrospect.
Amen. Well, glad no time came off the clock. That's positive.
And I again question, like you did, Jason, does Midland Dow actually still have one timeout left? I believe they should have 0. The scoreboard could be wrong, but I believe that they have no timeouts remaining.
Well, they unless I missed something and Western declined the delay of game rather than push them back 5 yards. I'm not sure what exactly has happened and transpired there.
There's a lot of things that I've scratched my head on tonight, and I'm also an official. The rain continues to come down as well. They're going to kick this deep, and Western gets an opportunity from their own 20 to return the kick. And, an extra 10 for the good as they get up to the 46-yard line. So a great return by the Western Warriors. I'm trying to wait and see, is that Randall on that return? So he got an extra 11 yards of real estate from the 46-yard line with 2:01 left in the fourth quarter. The Western Warriors set themselves up in a pretty good position.
I like that return, but Randall went off the field. He was the injured Warrior back on that drive where the Dow was forced to get stopped on the 4th down. So I'm glad to see him back out there and being explosive.
Ball goes forward to Wiedike on the play. He's going to pick up about 3 to 4 yards on the get up to midfield. Western's got to be in a little bit of a hurry up as they'll quickly come back. It's great because Coach is right in front of them so they can get the play at $1:40 and counting left in the game. Wiedike in motion. O'Hare trying to squeeze through an opening. He's going to pick up the first down and more as he's down to the 41-yard line of the Midland Dow Chargers with $1:29 left in the game.
Well, I tell you what, everyone's eyes are going to be on Wiedike and O'Hare, and right now they take the first 2 plays right down to the plus territory at the 41.
As again, $1:25 and counting. Wiedike in motion. O'Hare trying to cut to the outside. Western may need to call a timeout here with the $1:17 left. Coach Willard says, I think we're right in front of me. I can get this play in quick enough. I think, nope, their clock stopped right now. They may be taking their second timeout. 40 yards from pay dirt. And we still have not seen a signal who took a timeout. I'm assuming it's Western, but I don't want to see. Oh, we got a flag on the play. And is this going to be
obviously it's against Midland Dow because they're walking
it's either going to be face mask or personal foul. I just
that's the walk of shame right there where you take that 15-yard walk on your own.
Still no indication from our referee, but the penalty is going to be potentially marked off from the spot of the foul or the line of scrimmage, depending on what the white hat says. He's going to come over and talk to Coach Peterson right now, but the inquiring minds would like to know what the penalty is.
We have a lot of these conversations throughout this course of this particular game. There seems to be a lot of banter back and forth between the coaches and the referee.
I admire the referee for making sure that everybody's informed in what's going on. It's all part of the protocol to keep them informed, but I'd like to find out what that penalty is.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not sure who's marking which official is marking the ball.
It's going to be a 15-yard penalty because the line judge has got the ball down to the 26-yard line. Dead ball, personal foul against the defense. Thank you. We finally get a call on that.
Well, he took it all the way down from the end of the run. Now he's down to the 24-yard line, so you didn't need to use a timeout. You're able to benefit from maybe was it a face personal foul? We weren't sure what exactly constitute the personal foul, but either way, the Warriors are in good position.
Hold on to your seat cushions. This one's going down to the wire. O'Hare trying to get to the outside, not able to make it happen. And Coach Willard says, let's get this play. With a minute left in regulation and down by a point.
When he's making that little run right there, I keep waiting for a little Tim Tebow action where he gets everybody and then sneaking Batchgalupo out.
Well, they just maybe need another 7 or 8 yards. Randall on the counter play, bangs forward, gets 5. It's going to be third down right now in about 6 yards to go with 35 seconds left in the ball game. I think they may be setting up for a Folsom shot here they're going to run one more play and set Folsom up for a 35-yard field goal. As they get that ball forward again, and that is going to be down to the 17-yard line. So it's fourth down, and I think that this is an opportunity. We saw Folsom kick at Bay City Central, and he blasted the field goal attempt. He could be ready to go down in history here, as we're going to keep it right here and thank a couple of our great sponsors. Bay City Bills features fresh and homemade food. They're ground fresh and cooked to order. Premium burgers and barbecue are the best in town and sure to please the whole family. 1215 Michigan Avenue in Bay City. Stop by Bay City Bills for all your food needs. As that, again, we thank Covenant Healthcare, Frank's Great Outdoors, Collier Chiropractic, Village Towing and Auto Repair, and then our last sponsor, Bay City Bills. So I think this is
just, you're uncanny of how this game could possibly end, between the explosive offenses that both of these teams possess. Dow goes down, drives it down rather than going forward on 4th and 2, kicks the field goal attempt. And now all of a sudden we're on the other side of it, and you're going to have, it looks like they've got.
They got Chope out there?
No, we don't have a number out there.
Who's they got?
We don't have a number on our. It looks like 31. We'll find out when he turns toward us.
Well. Oh, he wasn't back. The kick is up. It's long enough. And it's good! 8 seconds left in the game. The Western Warriors take a 25-23 lead. Oh, the Thunderfoot of the nameless one. We're going to take a quick break and be back in a second for the final 8 ticks here on BCTV.
Village Towing and Auto Repair of Caucaulin and Bay City is here to help you in your hour of need with fast and friendly service. With over 30 years of towing experience, we know how to get the job done quickly and safely. From big to small, we do it all. Give us a call at 989-684-9607 for all your towing needs.
Back on Bay County TV, as we just saw what we think might be Mr. Midland coming up and kick that. We don't have an official number on it, but boy, that was an absolutely boomer. Now, what you're going to do with your kick, if you feel like you can kick that ball to the end zone, you kick it. Otherwise, you're going to kick that thing down around the 30 or 25-yard line. You want it down on the ground, and you want a non-organized return.
Well, you got some spin on the ball. It's wet, it's cold, it's windy, a little bit of anything right now. The last thing you want to be able to do is give them a kick like they did last time, where they were able to catch it without even having to go one direction. And so I think you get something on the turf here. Just let the turf do its job, let the wind do its job, let the rain do its job, and then hope to God your tacklers do their job. Now, we're still in that situation. I don't think Dow does have a timeout, so it'll be interesting to see how they're going to, rather than trying to get it.
It doesn't matter if they have a timeout. They're only going to be able to run one play unless they fair catch the ball.
Correct.
So
it does change. It does change what you're able to do with what happens here.
Choke with the kickoff, and they are going to kick that ball down on the ground. It's picked up, and it will be taken down with 3 seconds left from the.
That surprises me that he just
line.
didn't take it right down. I mean, just getting the ball again. Take the knee. Just quick, keep the 8 seconds on there. Unless you had something laterally planned, you just take your knee, go down. You don't want to risk the time coming off the clock, because every one of those ticks was very, very crucial.
This is a play for the ages for the Western Warriors. Tons of fight coming down to one play. They need to make certain that they get a little bit of pressure on Backus, but they have got what you call a definite prevent defense going. They're going to run with a 3-man front defensively. Empty backfield. Backus is going to try and launch that. They're going to try and throw a hook and ladder play. And they do get that play on the outside. Running out of real estate. They're going to toss it back around. First down! At the 30-yard line. They got a free rambling, scrambling, rambling down the sideline. That's all there is.
There is no more.
The final score in our ball game, and a wild one here from the Midland Municipal Stadium. The Western Warriors with a 25-23 victory. Ho-ho, back to put the wraps on this big Western victory in just a moment on Bay County TV.
For over 75 years, Frank's Great Outdoors has served as the Great Lakes Bay region's premier hunting, fishing, and outdoor shopping destination. What started in the mid-1940s as a roadside bait and tackle stand has now blossomed into a 30,000 square foot outdoorsman's dream shopping location. Stop by the store located at 1212 North Huron Road in Linwood, or shop online at franksgreatoutdoors.com to find everything you need to get your next outdoor adventure started.
Back with our Frank's Great Outdoors. Happy recap of what was a back-and-forth battle, tied at 8 at the half, and really turned into an offensive game in the second half.
I think both teams offensively got comfortable. I think that was number one. Defensively, it really came down to the bend but not break type mentality, and Western really did take advantage of that, getting that fourth down stop, even stopping them there at the end when forcing the field goal attempt, which ended up being ultimately good for the Dow Chargers. But I really thought offensively they just seemed more relaxed, sticking with what they do best, running the ball, Fang running the ball for Dow. Weedike getting the ball, got the 90-yard touchdown run out. So I thought they just got more comfortable within their own skin and let their strengths take over.
Well, the clock was a factor down the stretch. Both times it was a factor. They seemed to get it straightened and rectified, but it just seems like everything hairy that could have happened in this game did, and every opportunity for Western to come unraveled was there, but they persevered. They had great coaching. They stuck together. They believed in what they needed to do, and they executed.
I think at the end of the day, Coach Willards is going to be able to look back and really show his team what they just showed, that grit, that determination. You know, the question that his teammates, or not his teammates, but his players haven't been able to answer, the why not us mentality. You know, getting this win, their first win over Dow since 2012, getting into the district final for the first time since 2000, like all these things, why not them? And you know, being able to do this game and play this game, and we talk about throughout the season about how critical and how crucial it is to have such a dynamic offense, such a dynamic defense, but it's the special teams. It's the special teams. It's having that ability to kick off and, you know, get touchbacks, to onside kick. And then ultimately today, for a team who doesn't kick extra points, to have a field goal kicker come on for a 35-yard in the wind, in the rain, and have the confidence to do that. And we talked about it while it was happening, you know, setting up for that. If they weren't going to be able to get to the end zone, getting themselves positioned perfectly.
When we watched that happen, too, as the kicker, who we believe is Malin, got back, he really never got comfortable before that ball was snapped.
No.
And he had to go forward and kick it. So he really wasn't even in his rhythm, and he was able to drill that thing through the uprights.
It was perfect. And as far as that story will go into Western football lore, it was the greatest kick in the history of Western football. So anyone else that ever kicked an extra point or field goal in Western, trust me, you're now out of the record books. No one's going to remember you. You've been replaced by the no-name 31 that just kicked a 35-yarder to clinch game one of the 2021 playoffs.
And earned themselves an opportunity, we believe, to go against Traverse City Central, who was up very comfortably in their game earlier. But again, the grit, the perseverance, and the belief that they could do it really propelled this team from top to bottom, coaching staff to players, to will themselves to victory.
Yeah, there's just something about playoff football, but when you're looking at a lot of the teams of success and the successful teams in the past, look at Bay City Central 94 when they went to the Silver Dome. I don't know necessarily that they were the best team in some of those games that they went up against when they played Holt, when they played Grand Ledge, Muskegon, but their camaraderie that team had, was very special. And there's so much that can go into what you do outside of the football field that really brings your team together. And Coach, I know we've talked to him in the preseason. I know we've talked to him before the Mount Pleasant game. We've talked to him a couple other times just randomly, and he really feels that this team has that gel, has that camaraderie, has that love for each other and that love for the program to leave their mark and leave their legacy.
Well, 4 years into the program, I think he's put his stamp on this program, he being Coach Willards, because not only does he have an 8-2 varsity team, he's got an exceptional JV and freshman team. So the 4-year plan of his program is really starting to bear fruit.
Well, you start the foundation. You can't get to the top step without taking the first step. And I think, as a coach, you can only use so many cliches before your players start tuning you out. But at the end of the day, that guy has so much energy and so much enthusiasm that no matter what day it is, off-season, in-season, preseason, Sunday, doesn't matter if it's Tuesday, he is going to come in with the same vigor. And those players, they've all picked up on it. And we talked about the JV and the freshman team success. The 8th grade had some success. The 7th grade picked it up at the end. I was able to watch a couple of those games, and it's always interesting to see the love and that interest, and it just keep growing and growing and growing. So, hats off to Coach Willits, hats off to the program, all of his staff. He's got a plethora of coaches over there that are all doing a great job. So, my hats off to them for doing what they're doing. But, when it comes down to continued success, they can really set their stamp and their mark again next week when they go up possibly to Traverse City to really define this season even greater than what it already is.
Proud moment for Warrior Nation, as this is a great win in the dramatic style that it happened. We were elated to be able to bring it to you tonight. That about puts the wraps on what was just one of the greatest finishes to a football game that I have seen in my lifetime.
Well, we've had some really good games this year. We've had some really lopsided games this year, so it was really nice to be in a situation, where we were able to see, back and forth at that heavyweight battle, But hats off to Midland Dow as well. I mean, Coach Peterson coached a great game. He definitely made some adjustments at halftime, so let's not discredit what they did out there. It just happened to be Western was about 8 yards, a little bit longer on their field goal attempt there, and takes home the victory.
Well, great night. Again, TJ, great having you by my side. Superb job again, as we will look forward. And, boy, they're shutting the lights out on the Western folks as they're trying to celebrate out there. And I think the lights out says it's time to go home. We'll go back to the cornfield and celebrate. We may catch that as part of our post-game show. We'll talk to you about it. But thanks for joining us tonight. Western again with their dramatic field goal with 8 seconds left to have a 25-23 victory in the first round of the district playoffs. Thanks for being with us. We'll look forward to talking with you soon.